murdered on Skid Row in great numbers. And we've had Joey on quite a few times since April when this story first broke. And he's gotten some media coverage. And you'd think in the middle of a mayoral campaign, a campaign where the number one issue is homelessness, and we have the two candidates who are most responsible for the massive failure of government in regards to homelessness, you'd think at least here this small issue about keeping the dogs from being murdered and experimented on would be something they'd be competing over. Right? I understand they're not going to disturb the financial racket going on amongst their friends, all these nonprofits that are stealing billions of dollars. I understand they can't disturb that money train. But why are they sacrificing the animals? And if you don't know, they really are torturing the animals there. And they really are experimenting on the animals by injecting the drugs into them to see if the drugs are going to kill the dogs. And if the dog doesn't die, then they know they can take whatever it is, the fentanyl, the heroin, the meth. So we've done quite a few shows on this, and Karen Bass and Nithya Raman continue to do nothing. Now, Kenneth Mejia is the city controller. He's also a member of that sick, twisted DSA party, as is Nithya Raman. And maybe Mejia is realizing that there's eventually going to be some ugly blowback on this stupid party. So he brought his friend Nithya to meet with Joey Tuccio. And Joey wanted to explain to Nithya Raman what's going on. And apparently she didn't know. She didn't understand. I'm going to play you some clips here. I still don't know what to make of all this. And let's start with cut number 3 about Raman's reaction to all the stories of the animal torture and death. Did she have any kind of a normal reaction when you were explaining about the dogs who've been murdered and tortured and experimented on with drugs? You've posted the photos. You've told the stories. Other people have come out and verified this. It's been covered in the news media. Did she have any kind of a response that would signify she's a normal person?
Not in that regard, no. And that's why I left. Well, when she left, I was so frustrated that I didn't see the fire behind her. And I haven't seen it before, but I wanted to see it in person, and it wasn't there. The fire, the passion, the readiness to take on these drug users and these criminals.
Here's Tuccio talking about, this will be cut 5. She doesn't know what to do. Does she want to stop this? Or she's walking away?
Know how.
What?
She doesn't know how. And that's the problem.
It's all against the law. Every one of these is crimes.
Yes, I totally agree with you. But it's the same thing that, with Isabel Jurado and other people, is that they come in with these rose-colored glasses and they don't know how to take them off. And they don't know how to say, okay, this is a criminal. This person needs to be in jail.
Okay, but wait a second. This is reality. It's a disgusting, horrific reality that turns most people's stomach. This is not an esoteric, abstract, academic debate here. These are actual dead dogs that are rotting in the heat.
Yeah, 1,000%. And she didn't have the answers.
All right. Joey goes on about why he thinks Raman isn't qualified to take the office. And she doesn't understand what's going on here at Skid Row.
Every district is not exempt, and including Nithya's district. And I don't think that she's qualified to take office.
When you told her these stories, and you've told many of them on the air here, what did she say? She just stare at you?
Yes. Her thing is she doesn't want, and she admitted it. And even though at the time I had respect that she admitted it, the dogs are dying and people are dying. So it's like she's on step 0.5. She needs to be on step 19.
What did she admit to? What did she admit to?
that she doesn't understand Skid Row, that she doesn't understand what happens on Skid Row. And she told us, like, you know, we need more pet-friendly housing. And our response is, I mean, just today, we rescued 2 dogs from Inside Safe that the caseworker said the conditions of this apartment is so bad, it is literally considered a biohazard. 1 dog is dying of heart failure, and this is happening in Inside Safe. So she doesn't understand that shoving people into housing is not the answer, because what happens behind closed doors is the same thing that happens on the streets, but now we can't see it.
Well, he's got that
This
right.
is way worse than I thought.
Yeah.
What was your reaction to her?
My reaction to her was, I was disappointed, and I told her flat out. I said, "Look," and she knows that I don't trust her, and a lot of people in the animal community welfare community do not trust her.
I mean, this is so overwhelming that she could be one of the leading candidates for mayor.
You know what I'd like to hear? You know what? This is a terrible problem. We need to fix this. Let's talk about what we can do. This is unacceptable. And if I'm mayor, I'm going to be getting rid of this problem. I'm going to be figuring it out. No way is this going to happen on my watch.
You've got to end this. You enforce the law. I feel like an idiot saying this out loud, but it's against the law to torture and murder dogs and experiment on them. And they're doing them in public on the streets and in private in their whatever shelter they're living in.
How can you not be shocked if you don't know about this and you're being told that this is going on?
And there's
you need to be
photographs.
shocked and appalled and say, no, this is unacceptable. This isn't going to happen anymore.
She had no reaction and doesn't know what to do, which is...
Call John Kobylt. He will tell you what to do, Nithya.
You could call anybody, anybody at random. We come back. We've got some more clips, and Joey was explaining how there's this organization named LA Can, and they interfere with the police at Skid Row. And Nithya Raman is aligned with them. And LA Can does everything they can to keep the police from doing their jobs, I guess, including saving the dogs from being murdered. So I'll play you those clips when we come back. And we'll also play you Nithya Raman's parting words to Joey Tuccio as she was leaving Joey's home. That's all ahead. Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. A family in Altadena that lost a home in the Eaton fire is a step closer to moving back. And Metrolink is going to be suspending Orange County line service between Oceanside and Laguna Niguel next week. We'll tell you why. We will have more at the bottom of the hour from the Odoo.com Weather Center. Odoo, the only business software you need. Sunny and hot tomorrow, 70s to the triple digits. This report brought to you by AutoZone. From your Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. We have an update on the 210 in Upland.
So there's this brush fire along the eastbound side of the 210 coming up on Mountain. That's where the 3 right lanes remain off limits. But I just checked in with the Highway Patrol and they said, no flames are visible. They're in cleanup right now. So emergency crews will remain on the scene for a while to make sure that nothing flares back up, and then they'll continue to douse the area to make sure of that. Big delays, however, for the 210 eastbound away from Foothill Boulevard. Those are the immediate delays. Overall slowing starts out of Pasadena, getting away from just about Mountain. Let's also check out the Cajon Pass. It's a terrible drive, especially on the southbound side of the 15. Past Oak Hill, only the left lane's open for business due to a crash involving a motorcycle. Huge delays out of Hesperia, getting away from Main Street. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Hey, it's Conway here for Cars for Kids. We've donated 2 vehicles to Cars for Kids, and man, was it easy. Cars for Kids has been around for 30 years, and they know what they're doing. I recently saw firsthand one of their summer programs going on right now where they have over 1,400 kids. I saw hundreds of kids in the camp, and they couldn't thank Cars for Kids enough for making this incredible opportunity possible. So when you donate a car, you're helping real kids thrive this summer. CarsForKids.org. 1-877-CARS for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K.
Maestro of the movies returns to the Hollywood Bowl for the ultimate concert celebration of John Williams. David Newman leads the Los Angeles Philharmonic and Williams' iconic film score favorites for a trio of can't-miss concerts September 4th, 5th, and 6th. This cherished Bowl tradition features some of Williams' biggest hits, including scenes and clips from his best-loved films like Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and more on the Bowl's big screen. Get your tickets today at HollywoodBowl.com.
Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement. Batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone. This report is sponsored by iHeartAdvertising.com.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago.
Advertising.com. Tap into price pizzas and select apps every weekday at Yard House. Find yours at yardhouse.com. No required subscriptions, no trial periods, no surprise charges, no monthly fees. iHeartRadio is different. It's 100% free. Download the iHeartRadio app now. This edition of the Marketers Report, Monica Tam, head of brand media for DoorDash, discusses the power of audio influencers.
I think when you're tapping into voices like hosts and podcasters, you're being able to be part of that community, but in a very authentic way.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia connects marketers to the audiences, live conversations, and trusted influencers you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartAdvertising.com.
Worried about what your breath smells like after coffee, lunch, drinks, or a night out? That's why we created Zellman's, the breath mint for grown-ups. Zellman's is not ns.com and use code SAVE for 15% off your first order.
Therapy Thursday with L&K is a new iHeart podcast where secrets come out, emotions run high, and no topic is off limits. Listen now on the iHeartRadio app and wherever you get your podcasts.
For victims of drug abuse and drug driving, our grief is unique. You are not alone.
I said to the guy last night, I said, I don't want 8 nuggets. You guys sell last night? He goes, yeah, we have 5. I said, oh, I'll take 5 chicken nuggets. And you know what he said to me? He like whispers, he goes, oh, that's a good choice. like he's on my team. You know?
Tomorrow night, 6 to 10 on KFI AM 640.
Almost like a drug deal. Like, oh, yeah, we'll get you there.
Yeah, we'll hook you up.
Yeah, we'll hook your ass up.
This is KFI. More stimulating talk.
A lot of apps like to say they're free until they ask for your credit card. iHeartRadio is different. No required subscriptions, no trial periods, no surprise charges. We make money from our advertisers, not from you. It's the same radio you've never paid for. Live radio stations, playlists, podcasts, and artist stations, all in one app. So if you haven't already, download the free iHeartRadio app. Free radio. Always has been, always will be. Now wherever you go.
iHeartRadio.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Coming up on the next Gary and Shannon show.
The latest Lollapalooza is proof we do like doing things all together at the same time.
Gary and Shannon show starts Monday morning at 9.
$1,000 is yours now.
Now is your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, RICH. That's RICH. Enter it now at KFIAM640.com/cash.
KFI. Rich. Enter that word at KFIAM640.com/cash. And if you win, you get an email. Check your junk and spam folder. And there's a winning keyword every hour, every weekday. Starts at 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can win with us at 4:20 here on KFI. We're playing some clips yesterday of Joey Tuccio's appearance on the show at 5 o'clock. He's the animal activist trying to get the torture and death on Skid Row against dogs to stop. And the city controller Kenneth Mejia brought fellow communist Nithya Raman over Joey's house, and Joey explained in graphic detail what's going on. And as you heard in the clips we played last segment, she didn't seem to understand, and she doesn't know how to fix it. They do not want to enforce the law, which is what would fix this. People experimenting on dogs in public and torturing them and killing them should be arrested and thrown into prison. That's what you do. But she doesn't want to do that because the homeless are at the very top of the hierarchy for these anarchists, really. Progressives, socialists, whatever they are. They're anarchists. They want to tear everything down. And among the groups that are protected, they're more important than anybody. If you remember when the vagrants were fouling the Biota wetlands, you couldn't get any politician or any environmental group to stop them. And that's why you had dozens of RVs, and all these vagrants and mental patients are dumping all their poo into the wetlands, the garbage and the fires. Well, same thing here. For the most part, the animal rights organizations are doing nothing to protect the dogs. I remember that PETA would do all kinds of wild public stunts over one petty issue or another. If they're taking a role in this, I don't see anything, or any of the other animal rights groups. Because among this crowd, this progressive crowd, the homeless are saintly. They are sacred. And even if they're killing dogs, or even if they're destroying a protected environment, you can't take any action against them. You certainly can't have the police. Tuccio, I asked Tuccio if Raman ever expressed feeling bad about what happened to the animals. Play cut 8. At any point that she feels really bad that these dogs are suffering?
No, what she did say was that she understands how uneducated she is about Skid Row, and how she doesn't and she kept bringing back up Sherman Oaks, but she's also the chair of the homelessness committee, so she has no excuse not to understand how Skid Row works.
How could she not know what Skid Row is about? That's not possible, because she is the chairwoman of the committee. Let me play you this. These are Raman's parting words to Joey Tuccio. Cut 2.
It was very alarming. And as she walked out, she said, look, there's 2 people on the card, me and Karen, choose your poison. And
that's her? Wait. Nithya Raman said that to you? Choose your poison?
Yeah. Choose your poison. And I thought that was very appropriate, because either way it's poison. And so she kept saying that, in Sherman Oaks, when there's a homeless person and a dog, it's companionship. But she doesn't understand that Skid Row is not Sherman Oaks. It's so different. And there's nearly everybody's on drugs, and nobody knows what day it is, let alone the capacity to take care of a dog. And she didn't understand that.
It's not companionship. They're doing drug experiments so that the dog dies before they do. Now let me tell you about the LA CAN organization, Los Angeles Community Action Network, run by a former, or maybe a current, Black Lives Matter huckster. And Joey started talking about Raman's ties with LA CAN.
There's an organization on Skid Row called LA CAN, and it's a very, in my opinion, controversial organization that has prevented the police from doing their job and prevented organizations from doing their job to help enforce laws. And she is a supporter of them. And she actually tried to compare us to LA CAN, which we immediately shut her down with, because LA CAN is making the problem worse. But she just lumps everybody together. Organizations on Skid Row is all the same.
Wait, she thinks you and your organization are getting in the way of the police?
No, she thinks that LA Can is doing a good job there.
Because
they're getting in the way of the police.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
She tried to compliment us by putting us in the same sentence with them, and which we immediately said, please do never put us in the same sentence with them, because they. So that's that alarmed me the most, because it's like, oh God, well, if that's your litmus test of positivity on Skid Row, we are definitely. I can't say a curse word.
This is insane. This is insane. All right. Now, Tuccio explains exactly what LA Can does to interfere with the police. What does that organization do to obstruct the police?
If you go to the site, you literally have a staff, and on it says police watchdog, police spy, police, whatever. And what they do is, I mean, they make money mostly off lawsuits, suing the city by if somebody tries to enforce laws and remove a dog or do something with the homeless person that they think is not okay, they will sue the police. And I've talked to a sergeant at LAPD Central, and he said that a lot of the times they can't do anything because of LA Can, because they will sue them if they do anything. And LA Can has way too much power.
Wait a second. They just file a lawsuit and that's it? That suspends all police activity?
Yep. And they will literally go to tents and give homeless people their cards and say, if you have a problem, call us. And look, we're the first people to say that if you are down and out homeless, you have rights, obviously. And, that's not an issue. But when it comes to a lot of people on Skid Row have housing, but they prefer to live on the streets. And they prefer to, and LA Can doesn't understand that. So they have more rights on the streets than in the housing. This is so crazy. You can't have an organization blocking the police department by threatening nonsense lawsuits. And now you got the dogs dying all over the place, not to mention the people dying all over the place. Yep. And guess who went to LA Can 2 weeks ago? Karen Bass. For a meeting. I mean, it's just Karen Bass and Isabel Gerardo. There's somebody that used to work at LA Can, is now our chief of staff. So it's all like webbed out to prevent people from real change.
One of the people who runs LA Can is Melina Abdullah, who also runs the Black Lives Matter racket here in Los Angeles. Apparently, that's who's in charge of the city. All right, you heard it. We did. There was even more. You could hear that on the podcast from yesterday, the third hour, 5 o'clock hour. We come back. We're going to talk to Jon Fleischman, the political analyst. Meantime, Governor Newsom has run off to Michigan to embrace the new Democratic nominee for Senate, Abdul El-Sayed, who's a hardcore socialist communist with and with all kinds of insane, wacky ideas. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
An Altadena family that lost their home in the Eaton fire is a step closer to moving back. A prefabricated house was delivered to the family's property on La Corona Avenue after being built at a factory in Riverside. The San Zust family tells KTLA it expects to move in within about 2 months.
I will enjoy it for the time I have left.
Yeah.
And also I did that also for my grandchildren. They can enjoy it, and that's their legacy.
The builder says factory-built homes are helping speed up the recovery across the fire-ravaged area. Metrolink is going to suspend Orange County line service between Oceanside and Laguna Niguel next week because of expected high tides. The service disruption runs Monday through Friday. Metrolink says it will not provide replacement bus service. Crews are reinforcing the coastal tracks to protect against erosion. Officials say Amtrak's Pacific Surfliner is expected to keep running as long as conditions remain safe. An HBO talk show host says the Rialto police are sketchy with their surveillance.
Last week, tonight's John Oliver featured police using private security cameras. He said new businesses in Rialto were required to give access to their system in order to get a permit. Rialto police says no business has been stopped for saying no. The show requested a searchable digital file of officers looking at private cameras as required by law, but instead got more than 30,000 pages in boxes. The footage showed cops often looking at employee-only areas of fast food restaurants and the days in pool in Rialto for hundreds of hours. Rialto police say officers weren't watching the cameras, but passively monitoring them in case of an emergency. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
As students prepare to head back to the class in LA, information from a nonprofit news outlet shows that gun violence near schools is hard to avoid.
A search by ABC7 of the Gun Violence Data Hub by The Trace shows nearly half of LAUSD campuses experienced at least one school-adjacent shooting in the past 2 years. That's any gunshot within 500 yards of a campus at any time. Trace data journalist Aaron Mendelson says that proximity affects students.
We know that there are studies that have linked this kind of major neighborhood violence with decreased reading proficiency on standardized tests. And so this is an issue that we need to take seriously.
You can check out the map at kfiam640.com/schools. Mark Ronner, KFI News.
And a judge has approved a settlement between JetBlue and two people who sued the airline after a block of ice fell from a plane and crashed through the roof of their home in Inglewood on New Year's Day back in 2024. Details of that settlement haven't been released, but the couple says the roof damage totaled more than $11,000 and their therapy cost about $5,600. Southland weather from KFI, low clouds and fog in the morning, then sunny, highs 80s to low 90s. Metro LA, 90s to the triple digits in the valleys, the high desert, and the IE. It's going to be windy again in the high desert and the IE, mid 70s to around 80 for the beaches, low to upper 80s inland OC. Right now, 88 in Laguna Woods and 91 in Rancho Santa Margarita. Slow on the 710 in Long Beach.
We'll start on the northbound side, and that's where traffic really slows down at Anaheim Street. After that, you remain on and off the brakes all the way into Downey. Things look a lot better just before Atlantic. I think that's Atlantic. Make that Firestone. Just before Firestone, things seem to open up a little bit. The southbound side of the 710, that slows out of East LA, leaving the 60, opening up right around Atlantic as well. Very tough, leaving the high desert, heading into the Cajon Pass. Earlier crash, South 15 coming up on Oak Hill. Ongoing investigation with only the left lane open, and that drive is jamming up out of Hesperia, getting away from Main Street. We're also looking at a tough drive along the 91 freeway, starting overall out of Carson. Eastbound delays from Avalon, you're on the brakes and stretches all the way to Green River in Corona. And also Corona, South 15 slows from the 91 freeway traveling towards El Cerrito Road. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Are gold and silver still a good buy? Well, JP Morgan and Bank of America think so. They're forecasting even higher prices ahead. And Morgan Stanley's new portfolio allocation is up to 20% in precious metals. Call Lear Capital at 800-225-8100 for a free gold investment kit. Learn how you could qualify for up to $20,000 in bonus gold. That's Lear Capital, 800-225-8100, 800-225-8100.
I'm Michael Gates, and I'm running for Attorney General. I've spent over 20 years as a lawyer, from city attorney to the U.S. Department of Justice. And one belief has guided all of it: equal justice under the law. I will ensure justice for everyone, for the everyday Californians, no matter who you are, where you live, or how much you make. As California's Attorney General, that's the standard I will hold every single day. Fair, equal, for all of us. Vote Michael Gates for Attorney General.
Paid for by Gates for Attorney General 2026.
Summer's winding down, but there's still time for one more home upgrade.
This August, American Vision Windows lets you pick two offers: free expert installation, free sound package, free upgrade to Sun Matrix. They'll pay your tax, or no interest and no payments for 18 months.
Get your project done before fall with your choice of savings. Visit AmericanVisionWindows.com or call 888-785-5713. That's 888-785-5713.
New customers only. Restrictions apply. Call or see the website for details. Offer ends August 31st, 2026.
This is CEOs You Should Know with Division President of iHeartMedia, Paul Corvino.
Today I'm here with Carla Hassan, the Chief Marketing Officer of JP Morgan Chase, a brand most people know and interact with every day.
And let me ask you, Chase is one of the most recognized brands in the world. How do you build trust, which is the most important thing, I would think, for building a brand for a bank? How do you build trust with customers every day?
It's actually the only thing we have is trust. When it comes to your money, you got people who are saving
for the first time. You have people who are sending their kids to university for the first time. For us, it's how we show up every single day, not just from a marketing perspective, right? We've got over 5,000 branches where people actually walk into the branches and they're looking for help. And so arguably one of the first places that our brand shows up is in how our bankers actually treat our customers and our clients.
Listen to CEOs You Should Know on the iHeartRadio app.
Hey, it's Conway. Join me and Travel Store in February of 2027 for an incredible Caribbean cruise aboard Oceania's newest ship. We'll sail from San Juan to the U.S. and British Virgin Islands before arriving in Miami. A limited number of guests can purchase exclusive VIP opportunities with me. That's what it says, including a private dinner, shore excursion, and a beautiful cocktail hour. Sign up by August 17th, and you're going to get a $200 onboard credit. 800-777-6540 or ConwayCruise.com.
Protect your retirement with gold and silver. Call Golden Crest Metals, 888-447-7857.
Take your private life off the market. Use Incogni.com/KFI for 60% off.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
I'm not great with words after a fight, and I'm sorry, wasn't cutting it this time. So I used Smile Tunes to write a soulful ballad about how she's always right. By the second chorus, the silent treatment was officially over. Visit SmileTunes.com and get out of the doghouse today.
If you run a business, you know the value of trust. It's what keeps your customers coming back. And it's what you get when you advertise with iHeart. More than 75% of listeners consider iHeart hosts their friends and trust their recommendations. Now take that trusted influence and combine it with iHeart's massive reach and scale, and you've got the formula for growing your business. Learn how easy it is to tell your story through our voices today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Teachers make a difference each and every day. Now's your chance to say thanks. iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher powered by Donors Choose. Nominate an outstanding public school teacher who goes above and beyond for students. They could be one of our $5,000 winners for classroom supplies and resources. Teachers give so much. Now it's our turn to give back. Nominate a teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. It's the John Kobylt Show. We're live on YouTube. We're live on X. We are going to have 2 rounds of the Moist Line in the 5 o'clock hour. And we're going to talk to Jon Fleischman now. John is a political commentator and writer. He's got a website, sodoesitmatter.com, and he comes on our show frequently. And we're going to talk about Newsom. First thing Newsom did this weekend is run off to Abdul El-Sayed, who's the new socialist Democratic nominee for Senate in Michigan. And just so you know, El-Sayed, if you weren't tracking this, he wants to abolish ICE. He wants to abolish private health insurance and install a single-payer government system, wants to defund the police, and doesn't think Israel has a right to exist as a Jewish state. And Newsom is running to endorse and support him. Let's get Jon Fleischman on. How are you, John?
You know, I'm doing just fine. You also left out that Abdul El-Sayed supports a national gender transition policy where if anybody would like to change their sex, I guess you just do it and it goes on the national debt or something. You just you name it.
And the government pays for it.
Where you are. Right, exactly. So, but
that's good to know.
Anyway,
if I get the urge.
Right. So what we got is Gavin Newsom, who understand this is a man who he's the panderer in chief. Within 2 weeks of the awful, horrible October 7th attacks in Israel in 2023, Gavin Newsom flies on an airplane, walks the scene of the tragedy, expresses his sympathy to the people of Israel, talks about his support for Israel, and then is immediately on a plane to go support this guy. And the reality is Abdul El-Sayed won the Democratic nomination in Michigan against a member of Congress who lost by about 16,000 votes statewide. If Gavin Newsom cared about Israel, why wasn't he in Michigan campaigning against this guy? Right?
Yeah,
and instead,
exactly.
He gets on. Instead, he's getting on an airplane the day after, and his basic, position is, I'm running for president, and I am going to hang out with anybody who's going to help me get there, regardless of where they stand on any issue. Because I mean, as early as last week, Abdul said that the press was like, they're saying that you don't, support Israel. What's your position? And he literally said, I will not affirm Israel as a Jewish state. Right? The Jewish people do not have the right to have a state.
That sounds like a code for getting rid of it.
Yeah, exactly. So, so, I mean, at some level, there's a national story about Democrats that would put forward another one of these crazy as anything candidates. But for those of us that are stuck here in California, the sad, other part of the story is that we've got this. I mean, Gavin Newsom is so obsessed with running for president that he will say anything, he will do anything, and this is the latest example. So I mean, you just can imagine him sitting in his desk, picking up the phone and calling Abdul El-Sayed and said, "I'm with you," while he's flipping through his, photo album from his trip to Israel, kind of going, "Well, I guess we better put this in a drawer."
Wasn't he hanging out with Charlie Kirk a couple of years ago?
Well, he had him on his podcast, right?
But he was finding common ground. He was complimenting him.
Well, again, that's back to the same. That there's different versions of Gavin Newsom. All of them have the same goal, which is wants to be liked by as many people as possible that he thinks will get him to where he wants to go. And so, Gavin Newsom version 11, whatever that number was in the "I'm going to go talk to conservatives." And this version of Gavin Newsom is, I'm going to go buddy up to people that hate Israel. And it's really kind of sad, and it's really kind of pathetic. And, nobody who's listening to you, John, nobody who's listening to this show should be terribly surprised.
No.
But maybe we should be. Maybe we actually have some level of expectation, and that Gavin Newsom keeps coming in way underneath it. But this is the latest one. And so the real question is, what is a Democratic Jewish person? I'm a Republican Jewish person, but what is a Democrat Jewish person supposed to think about a Gavin Newsom who is flying out of his way to Michigan right after this, right after calling him and endorsing him to do a full body embrace of this anti-Semitic, anti-Jewish wokester, right?
And this guy doesn't hide it.
It matters, right?
He doesn't try to be cute and clever. He's very out there that he can't stand Israel's existence.
Right, and it matters to have somebody in the United States Senate. This is the body that works on treaties, and it's supposed to be the adults in the room, right? And to have somebody like Abdul El-Sayed in the Senate is an awful thing to begin with, but it just shows you what we're going to be able to expect from Gavin Newsom. I mean, he's going to be literally pandering to the most ultra left-wing elements of the Democratic Party in his desperate attempt to become their nominee for president.
And there's a whole package really with El-Sayed beyond Israel. He wants to abolish ICE. He wants to abolish private health care. So Newsom is signing on to all this? I mean, that's two of his main planks.
You tell me. I mean, you could tell me if there's a distinction between where he says he is, because Newsom has not said that he's for abolishing ICE, but what speaks louder, that you say you're not for abolishing ICE, or that you work to elect people to the body that could abolish ICE?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So again, all I know is that, I traveled to Israel myself, not on the Gavin Newsom trip. And when I was there, I was struck by how difficult it is to be in Israel as a Jewish person with all of these countries around you that want to take you out. And then to open up your newspaper and be like, honey, that's the guy from California that came to us and prayed with us because our child was murdered. And now he's supporting somebody for U.S. Senate that wants to see the Israeli state disappear. It's like I can't even imagine it. Here we are.
Does he think?
You don't have to imagine it.
Does he think nobody notices this? That he violently switches sides on major issues in short periods of time?
I think that as the governor of California, he has had it easy. what's left of the California press corps are more his allies than his enemies. And he's never held to account for anything. And so I think he's gotten into a pattern of, I can do whatever I want because I'm Gavin Newsom. And I don't know that that's going to play at the national level, but that's all he knows to do. I'm Gavin Newsom. That's the answer. I can do whatever I want.
I think he's going to hit a buzzsaw not too far into the campaign.
I do too.
All right. Hey, John, good talking with you again. Jon Fleischman, SoDoesItMatter.com is his site. And he is a political analyst. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. 8 people have been taken to hospitals after a vehicle crashes into a preschool in Glendale, and an LA Fire Department helicopter had to make a precautionary landing on a soccer field in Encino. We'll have more at the top of the hour. We're going to the 5 next.
Let me tell you something. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. You have your handshake, they get a commission, you're done, and you may not hear from them again until it's time to renew. But your business runs all year, and you have the gaps in coverage all year, and you're taking the risk all year. You need Super Sure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, the CFO, or the HR manager, the whole thing can be too complicated just to buy a policy online. Super Sure is the super agency built for you. It's licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, and you get year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, they have tools like fine print facts that translates your current policy into plain English. So finally you see what's covered and what's not. And you get a business value calculator so you can finally estimate what your business is really worth, so you know how much insurance you need. Supersure.com, one super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com, supersure.com.
Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
From your Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, excuse me, we make it easy. We have a fire off the 5 in Gorman.
So this is affecting traffic so far on the northbound side coming up on Gorman. I just checked in with the Highway Patrol, and they said that they're going to divert traffic 5 north at the 138. They were trying to shut down the 5 northbound at that point. But here's the deal. The 138 is closed as well at the point where it becomes D Street, which is east of the 5 freeway. And let me give you the closure parameters here. So it's off limits between 220th Street West and 170th Street West. So you're kind of screwed in this area. You can turn around and go southbound on the 5, but traveling east or westbound on the 138 is going to be pretty tough in between the 14 and the 5 right now. Looks like southbound 5 coming out of Grapevine into Gorman. So far, I haven't heard of any closures on that side. If you see it, or you see something different, pound 250, keyword KFI traffic, with Southern California's most accurate traffic reports. I'm Angel Martinez.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by iHeartAdvertising.com.
The Athletics mired in an 8-game losing streak and mutually agreed to part ways with longtime GM David Force. He's been with the franchise 30 years. The Athletics taking on the Red Sox in Boston tonight. Sox are on a heater, having won 8 in a row. The Braves also with an 8-game winning streak as they visit the Yankees. And it's a 4-year, $100 million extension for Tennessee Titans guard Peter Skoronski. I'm Frank Aaron.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
I suffered from chronic knee, hip, and back pain for many years.
This is Emily, and this is her Good Feet story.
I was unable to take a walk around my neighborhood, and nothing alleviated the pain. Oh, I'm just going to have to live with chronic pain for the rest of my life. I had been toying with the idea of going to the Good Feet store, and I went in, I got fitted for the arch supports, and I had a moment where I started crying because I was like, wow, this feels great.
For over 30 years, the Good Feet store has been helping improve the quality of people's lives 2 feet at a time.
And a few months later, I was able to walk like 10 miles. I've been wearing the arch supports for about 4 years. They are helpful every single day. My life is more wonderful because I'm just able to experience it instead of being at home, sitting on the couch, not able to move. If you've tried everything and you think that nothing's going to work, I encourage you to go to the Good Feet store because it changed my life and it could change yours too.
See how we can help you with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
We have 11 area locations. Find the one closest to you at goodfeet.com.
Gold and silver recently hit record highs, then pulled back. So are metals still a good buy? Many experts say yes. Gold remains a long-standing hedge for wealth protection. Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold kit. That's LearCapital.com. LearCapital.com.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Toyota's national sales event is here to keep summer going. Get great deals on Toyota's most efficient lineup of hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and electric vehicles. Like the RAV4 hybrid or plug-in hybrid with the power and capability to take you farther. Prius hybrid or plug-in hybrid, offering tech and efficiency for every adventure. Or all-electric BZ with the range to extend your summer play. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
Everything you need to find your perfect Toyota is right at your fingertips at Toyota.com. Explore our full lineup of vehicles. Compare features side by side. Search our available inventory. You can even find the best local offers. Everything you need is just a few clicks away on Toyota.com. So for your next Toyota car, truck, or SUV, just visit Toyota.com. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
Some apps say they're free, then come the fees. Not the iHeart app. It's 100% free. No required subscriptions to access the best live radio stations, free playlists, podcasts, and more. Download the free iHeart app today.
iHeart Radio.
KFI, AM 640. More stimulating talk.
It's Conway Show. Yes, great neighbors still exist in Los Angeles. And I'm going to tell you where the best neighborhoods are with the greatest neighbors in LA. It's important to have great neighbors. That's all today after 6 on the Conway Show.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. John Kobylt Show. Coming up after 4:30, we're going to have Jamie Paige on from the California Post. The city of Los Angeles gave $106 million in new funding to the Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles. And what they do is they interfere with the city's ability to dismantle homeless encampments and interfere with the city's ability to clean up the streets. They have attorneys that make over $1,000 an hour to do that. We'll talk to Jamie Paige about the $106 million reward that this organization is getting anyway. Now, the other day, Deborah, you remember I told you the story about the guy in New Jersey who died.
Oh, this is having a heart attack while having sex?
Yeah, that's right. He had a heart attack while having sex, and he died. And he was brain dead, but they had him on a machine. And this very aggressive organ harvesting company came in because he, at some point in his life, had checked the box to donate organs. Now, later on, he changed his mind. He became Muslim and that religion doesn't permit organ harvesting, so he rescinded it. But his name stayed on the registry, and this organization came into the hospital room, and for about 3 days there was a standoff because the family said, no, you're not taking his organs. They said, yes. He made a lifetime deal. The hospital was afraid of getting sued from all sides. I got another story here. Robert Kennedy Jr., the Health and Human Services Secretary, he has decertified Network for Hope. They do organ harvesting. They're based in Kentucky and a few other states. It has to do with this case. A guy named Anthony Thomas Hoover. Anthony had an overdose in 2021, and the doctors told the family he's not recovering. So they authorized donation. So as the surgery was being arranged, Anthony started to stir, started thrashing on the bed. But Network for Hope tried to move forward anyway.
Oh, come on.
We want those organs.
Dead or alive.
That's right. And on the way to the operation, Anthony started crying on his way to having his organs removed. I guess he figured out what was going on. And he pulled his knees to his head and started shaking his head. And then the doctor said, well, we're not going to withdraw life support here. Because what they'll do, especially when they're harvesting hearts, is keep you alive on life support up until the last second.
Right.
Then they pull the plug.
Yes.
You want to have a fresh heart. The group had ignored signs of growing alertness in more than 70 other patients.
That is, I don't even know what to say. I may rescind my. I'm not going to be an organ donor then.
Yeah, they decertified a Florida organ organization as well back just last year. So there's a lot of this going on here. More than 100 cases with Network for Hope had concerning features, is the way it was described. And they just move in. They move in quickly, and they start grabbing your organs. And then what are you going to do? Who are you going to sue?
That's horrible.
I know, it's horrible.
Can you imagine? You're waking up. Wait, no, don't take anything from my body.
And there's a guy with a saw.
Oh no, that's terrifying.
All right, we got more coming up. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Preschool accident. I'm Deborah Mark live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. 8 people have been taken to hospitals after a vehicle crashed into a preschool in Glendale. Police say the crash happened just before 2 this afternoon on North Pacific Avenue and West Stalker Street. Does not appear to have been intentional. The name of the school is Grandview House Preschool. Officials say none of the injuries are considered serious, and the cause of the crash is under investigation. An LA Fire Department helicopter had to make a precautionary landing on a soccer field in Encino. It happened around 2:30 today. Police say the helicopter came down near Balboa and Burbank Boulevards, where maintenance crews were called in to inspect the plane. Officials have not said what prompted the landing, but no injuries are reported and everyone on board is safe. Billionaire and ex-candidate for governor Stephen Klubeck has pleaded not guilty to charges. He tried to dissuade people from testifying in a criminal case against his then fiancée, a model and social media personality.
Adva Marie was charged last year with stealing money and other property from people she met through dating apps. And Klubeck's charged with 3 felony counts of trying to stop people from testifying. Southwestern Law School professor Richard Jolly says that's witness tampering.
It absolutely opens him up to prison time. Multiple felony counts is a big deal.
Jolly said it sounds like the prosecutor means business with Klubeck.
The fact that he pleaded not guilty right now does not mean that there won't be a plea deal, but it is of serious enough consequences that this case could very well proceed to trial.
Mark Ronner, KFI News.
We have a discouraging update on Jackie, the beloved big bear bald eagle. The Ojai Raptor Center says that Jackie's condition remains critical after her blood values declined again. Veterinarians are still trying to determine the cause of her illness while she gets intensive care, and additional test results are still pending. The center says it will provide another update when it has a clearer picture of her condition. Drivers on PCH and Topanga Canyon Boulevard should expect delays again next week as Palisades fire recovery work continues. Caltrans says overnight lane closures are planned on PCH and the Palisades and Malibu, along with one-way traffic control on Topanga Canyon Boulevard. Daytime lane closures are also possible. A judge in Sacramento has upheld California Attorney General Bonta's rewritten ballot title for a voter ID initiative headed to voters. The measure would require proof of citizenship to register and a government-issued ID to vote in person. Supporters challenged Bonta's wording after it was changed to say the measure would prohibit citizens from voting unless they present government-issued identification. But the judge allowed the language to stand. Governor Newsom is fighting what he calls an attack against the California Coastal Commission.
The 12 members appointed by state politicians have recently been under the microscope of the Trump administration. Newsom is now asking Californians to attend upcoming public meetings next week and let the feds know just how important the Coastal Commission is to the state. Newsom says it's time to give the Trump administration an earful, calling the review of the commission bogus. The feds may ultimately remove some of California's authority to review federal oil and gas projects. Also, it may pause some federal funding. Jason Campidonia, KFI News.
President Trump is announcing billions of dollars in loans and investments aimed at expanding U.S. mining and mineral production. The plan includes funding for battery and rare earth projects, a proposed copper mine in Arizona, and mining schools to train future workers. Trump says minerals are important to the nation's global power and influence.
We're putting our miners back to work, and we're reclaiming America's rightful place as the minerals superpower of the world, which is what we are. People just didn't know that for a while.
The administration says the effort will strengthen domestic supply chains and reduce America's reliance on China for critical minerals. And Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Pakistan have signed a mutual defense pact declaring that an attack on one will be treated as an attack on all three. The agreement comes as Iranian-backed Houthi rebels launch new attacks, against Saudi targets. Iran has dismissed the alliance as ineffective. A new U.S. report says American air defense missile supplies in the region are running dangerously low. Retired Army General and former NATO Ambassador Doug Lute says the shortage could put U.S. troops at greater risk.
Iranian attack, especially Iranian ballistic missile attack, because it's the anti-ballistic missile interceptors that have been depleted most dramatically.
President Trump says the U.S. needs more munitions overall, but insists supplies of some of America's most powerful weapons remain virtually unlimited. We're going to go back to the 5 next.
Summer is winding down, but you have time for one more home upgrade this summer. In the month of August, American Vision Windows will help you finish your home projects before the fall comes. Listen to this list. You pick any 2 of these offers. You get either free expert installation, free sound package, free upgrade to Sun Matrix, or they pay your tax or no interest in payments for 18 months. Pick 2 of those. And then you get stunning, energy-efficient windows that'll improve your comfort, the curb appeal of your home, lower your energy bills season after season. 1 million windows installed so far. American Vision Windows has the trust of homeowners across California. Offer ends August 31st. New customers only. Restrictions apply. Call or see the website for details. The website is AmericanVisionWindows.com. The number to call is 888-771-2188. 888-771-2188.
Southland weather from KFI, low clouds and fog in the morning, then sunny, 80s to low 90s. Metro LA, 90s to the triple digits in the valleys, the high desert and the IE. Windy again for the high desert and the IE. Mid 70s to around 80 for the beaches. Low to upper 80s inland OC right now. 88 in Tustin, 78 Laguna Beach, 94 in Chatsworth, and 93 in Van Nuys. The KFI financial update brought to you by Supersure. Supersure.com, one super agency, one powerful platform, all your business insurance in one place. The Dow closed up 152, S&P 500 up 48, NASDAQ up 342. Back to the 5 in Gorman.
Want up to $25,000 in free silver? When you make a qualifying purchase through Golden Crest Metals, you can receive up to $25,000 in real silver added to your account. Call 888-447-7857 now for your free information kit. That's 888-447-7857. Again, call 888-447-7857. Not a financial advisor. Precious metals involve risk. Free silver offers a 10% bonus in silver on qualifying purchases of premium minted coins. $10,000 minimum purchase required. Bonus silver capped to $25,000 and credited to customer account. See goldencrestmetals.com for full terms.
Tap into happy hour with half-price pizzas and select apps every weekday at Yard House. Find yours at yardhouse.com.
Want more than just awareness for your business? An iHeartRadio Music Festival partnership can help your business drive action with sweepstakes, ticket giveaways, and more. Make your business part of the iHeartRadio Music Festival. Call 844-844-iHeart.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com. Our iHeartRadio Music Festival,
presented by Capital One,
is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 18th and 19th at T-Mobile Arena.
Stream it live on Disney Plus and Hulu. And keep listening for the next chance to win your way to be there.
Starting Monday.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival is connecting all of us. Shows, meals, drinks, even a roller coaster ride. All-inclusive 2-night stay at Luxor or Excalibur starting at $330 for two. Visit MGMResorts.com.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeartRadio station. Guaranteed human.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. It's the John Kobylt Show. Welcome to another hour. We're on from 3 to 6. After 6 o'clock, John Kobylt Show on demand on the iHeart app. And that's where you listen to what you missed. We're live on YouTube. We're live on X. YouTube.com/@John Kobylt Show. YouTube.com/@John Kobylt Show, where you could subscribe and become a member. Oh, and just to give you an early warning, next Thursday at 11 in the morning, we're going to have a live stream. Another in our live stream series. Next Thursday at 11 a.m. All right, we just... I got a lot of medical news and news on diseases today. I don't know why. But I got more on the typhus outbreak. You know, the fleas and the rats and the homeless. It's really a serious thing in LA. But first, I want to tell you about a brand new virus that has been created by AI. Not making this up. This is at Stanford University. The studies published in the journal Science. And what they did is they used an AI model called Evo. Evo is similar to ChatGPT. And Evo was arranged to AI, it was programmed to rearrange the DNA building blocks of a virus. And they created designer viruses to infect bacteria. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, you know, some bacteria is drug resistant. So is there a way to kill this bacteria by implanting a virus inside, since they don't respond to drugs anymore? And it looks like they cracked that code. What they did is they created variations of a naturally occurring virus called PHI-X174. These are viruses that only infect bacteria. And they created these different variations. They injected the bacteria with these AI viruses and just watched the viruses multiply and explode the bacteria, killing it. And so the scientists are really happy. Except now that they've broken through this wall, they can create viruses that are benign to human beings, but can pulverize bacteria. What do you think is going to happen next? We already know that Fauci and the Chinese were secretly doing research to enhance the COVID virus. And everybody covered it up and lied about it, but that's where our tax money was going. And there's, by the way, probably many, many other projects around the world where they have created and will continue to create deadly viruses. Now, AI has figured out how to create designer viruses. And I know you love designer stuff, Deborah.
Not viruses.
They said this does not impose an immediate security risk. It isn't likely to be applied to viruses that infect humans.
Not likely.
No.
Okay.
not this particular virus, because the ones that infect humans are larger and they're more complex. But now that they have the blueprint, they will. According to one professor, Kevin Esvet at MIT, this tool is going to allow people to create new variants like COVID that will spread to infect most people. And that would be bad.
Oh, really? Are you sure it will be bad?
Hey, he's a professor at MIT, all right?
Okay.
All right.
But
he's well educated. Yes, that will be bad. And then he adds, we should not do that.
duh. I never went to MIT, but
you could have figured that out. Wait. Yeah, but we will, like we created COVID, and we're not going to tell anybody. And every other bad guy in the world, sometimes I don't know if we're good guys or bad guys when it comes to this stuff, but the bad guys are certainly going to create these viruses, which means we're all going to die.
Great.
We're all doomed. We were Deborah and I were talking off the air before, whether you should take the money that you've made and spend it now, save it for later, leave it for your kids. I say spend it now, because they're working on uncountable ways to kill us.
But why?
Because they can.
But it'll kill them too.
Yeah, but they'll be the ones who discovered it.
Okay, but who cares? You're dead.
According to another professor, it would be considerably easier for a wannabe bioterrorist to produce any of the pathogens that are already 100% guaranteed to be deadly. Like stuff that you know exists, but you don't have it in your lab. Well, with AI, you could create it in your lab. You just have to put the right AI building blocks together, and AI will do that for you. In fact, they have a version of AI that does it for you quickly.
Can't we block AI from doing that?
Well, you go talk to it.
I'm going to go to ChatGPT. Hi, how do I block AI from giving information or making a virus that's going to kill me?
They'll block you.
This is
yeah.
I can't go through another pandemic again.
This
is worse.
Yeah, this is a way of life. And here's something inspiring. Dr. Moritz Handke from Johns Hopkins says governments and scientific organizations have been very slow to develop guardrails that could block the creation of a deadly virus.
Really? We haven't learned from COVID?
No, nothing. Zero. We're going to make more of these. We're going to be mass producing these. So we're all going to die, so go spend your money.
I'm buying shoes tonight.
More coming up. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. A mountain lion that shut down part of a neighborhood in San Dimas has been captured, and crews have restored water service to roughly 300 LA DWP customers in the Hollywood Hills after repairing 2 water leaks. We will have more at the bottom of the hour from your Toyota Dealers Traffic Center. We make it easy. We're going to check the freeways.
So let's head out to Gorman. This is a brush fire burning along the 5 freeway, and they've shut down northbound lanes. They're taking you off at Smoky Bear Road, turning you around, and sending you back southbound. They were diverting to the 138 earlier, but the 138 is also closed due to another fire, and that's off limits between 220th Street West and 117th Street West. Highway Patrol says they were in the process of shutting down the southbound side of the 5 near Gorman Post. We'll keep you posted. Let's also check out the drive as you make your way through the Cajon Pass. Investigation on that 15 southbound past Oak Hill it's the 3 right lanes that are blocked, and delays are loading up all the way from La Mesa Road. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
This is an American success story.
My name is Fareed Yugupto from Downtown LA Law Group, and this is our story. Over time, we've been able to grow to a staff of over 200 people, serving people all across California. When you give back to individuals, when you have an opportunity to give back to them,
that's infectious. They're the person that's going to pay it back one day. And that creates an environment where people are helping people.
I was just a teenager when I ended up in the streets. Fareed and DTLA Law give to the communities in many ways, including supplies, so I can give back to the community. Today, I have a beautiful family, real trust, and a reason to give back to the streets the same way it once helped me.
you have to be able to give back to people. You have to do it with extreme empathy. And giving back to those communities goes way beyond representation.
Downtown LA Law Group, an American success story.
This ad is brought to you by Fareed Guptill Esquire from Downtown LA Law Group, 540 South Santa Fe, Los Angeles. Previous results do not guarantee the same outcome. This ad doesn't constitute an attorney-client relationship. Visit them at calldowntown.com.
This is Sarah Spain with the latest from iHeart Women's Sports.
Presented by iHeartAdvertising.com.
Team USA for next month's FIBA Basketball World Cup was unveiled Thursday. The roster, selected by National Team Managing Director Sue Bird, includes 12 players from 8 WNBA teams. 5 members, Kalia Copper, Chelsea Gray, Kelsey Plum, Brianna Stewart, and Asia Wilson, were members of the U.S. team that won the last World Cup title in 2022. For more women's sports stories, subscribe to Good Game with Sarah Spain on iHeart Podcasts.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
This report is sponsored by Big O Tires.
It's the Big O Tires High Temps Low Prices Sales Event. Get up to $120 in instant savings on 4 select tires, plus an additional $100 in rebate savings on qualifying purchases using your Big O Tires credit card through August 31st at your local Big O Tires.
Bowling is my sport. I'm a bowling warrior, but my plantar fasciitis hurts so bad. I felt like I didn't want to bowl anymore. I was devastated.
This is Lori, and this is her Good Feet story.
I was in constant pain for over 5 years because I was constantly trying to find something to help me feel better. And I wasn't getting it done. But then I found happiness at the Good Feet store and my Good Feet arch supports. With these arch supports, my game is fabulous. And I'm not thinking about my feet anymore. I'm just knocking pins down.
For over 30 years, the Good Feet store has been helping improve the quality of people's lives 2 feet at a time.
Outside of bowling, I still wear my arch supports. They fit my vibe, my energy. I know my feet are going to be supported. I know I'm going to be balanced. It allows me to do anything with ease. I don't even think anymore about my feet. I really just say, what's the next door I can open?
See how we can help you with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
We have 11 area locations. Find the one closest to you at goodfeet.com.
Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Every day, Californians work hard to build a better future. They deserve leaders who work just as hard for them, not for special interests. In the Assembly, Juan Carrillo is delivering solutions for the high desert, building more affordable housing, investing in good-paying jobs, and lowering costs for hardworking families. Because California deserves problem solvers who deliver real solutions on the issues that matter most. Paid for by Grow California.
Free shouldn't come with a catch. With iHeartRadio, it doesn't. No monthly fees, no trial periods. Radio, music, podcasts. Download the free iHeartRadio app now.
Silver is no longer just a commodity. It's a strategic resource. Demand is up and supply is tight. Experts expect prices to soar. Visit LearCapital.com for your free silver report. LearCapital.com. That's LearCapital.com.
A lot of apps like to say they're free until they ask for your credit card. iHeartRadio is different. No required subscriptions, no trial periods, no surprise charges. We make money from our advertisers, not from you. It's the same radio you've never paid for. Live radio stations, playlists, podcasts, and artist stations, all in one app. So if you haven't already, download the free iHeartRadio app. Free radio. Always has been, always will be. Now wherever you go.
iHeartRadio.
KFI AM 640.
More stimulating talk. Coming up on the next Bill Handel show, he's back. You thought you were afraid of AI. Drones. Drones are what's going to kill you. That's coming up after 7 Monday morning on the next Bill Handel Show.
$1,000 cash.
Now is your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Credit. That's CREDIT. Enter it now at KFIAM640.com/cash.
KFI.
Credit. Enter that word at KFIAM640.com/cash. If you win, you get an email. Check your junk and spam folder. And there's another keyword next hour, 5:20 here on KFI. All right. More disturbing medical news. We discussed this a little yesterday. The California Post has an editorial with more information. This really has got to stop. These homeless encampments. This is getting really dangerous because the typhus outbreaks are spreading. They've got a record number. Typhus is a horrific disease. I should read the symptoms of typhus because when this disease was a big deal? Back in the 1400s, the 1500s, and the 1600s, because they didn't have sanitation back then, right? So what happens is the vagrants leave all their garbage. The rats come to eat the food and the garbage. Fleas jump off the rats and they bite human beings and they bring us typhus. Now, here are the symptoms of typhus. And they've had hundreds of cases already this year. You get a fever, feels like the flu. After 9 days, a rash begins on your body and then spreads to your arms and legs. The rash covers most of the body, spares the face. And then signs of meningoencephalitis begin. And you have sensitivity to light, you have an altered mental state like delirium, or you may go into a coma. And if you don't treat it, you die. Fever, headache, chills, swollen lymph nodes, nausea, vomiting, a rash. Some severe symptoms may damage the lungs, brain, kidney, your spinal column. And they're having these cases because of all the food from the homeless encampments. And we have organized groups that interfere with the police and interfere with the sanitation department when it's time to clear the encampments. I mean, this is some kind of suicide pact we've got going. So the California Post had a story. After typhus, what's next? Bubonic plague? Plague is endemic among rodents in California. All you need is a bite from an infected flea, which is the way the typhus spreads, because the rats are out of control from all the food they get in the vagrant encampments. Now, here's what else we did to ourselves. Gavin Newsom, who I swear is the stupidest man ever in public life, he has signed green legislation that restricts rat poisons. So the coyotes don't die and other wildlife. Now, that's great if you're a coyote or a mountain lion or whatever's roaming around. Except we're going to die because typhus kills people. So does bubonic plague. I wonder if we have to get to a massive bubonic plague outbreak that kills thousands of people before we stop this nonsense. I don't know what it takes. And, they write, but, they write about this every day, but you have to. We talk about it every day, but we have to. Billions of dollars they have spent, and the vagrant population is going up. So now typhus is going up. So we're living in the third world here. It gets worse and worse and worse. And now we have organizations getting tax money to interfere with the police so that the sanitation department, so the encampments don't get broken up. LA Community Action Network. They go out of their way, interfere with police activity, and threatening to sue the LAPD. So that's why Karen Bass, who agrees with LA Can, Nithya Raman, also an ally of LA Can, that's why the police had pulled out of Skid Row. So that's why the dogs are dying and being experimented on. We talked a lot about that in the first hour. If you want a complete tutorial on this, go to the podcast, hour number 3 from yesterday. That's on the iHeartRadio app, hour 3 yesterday. And Joey Tuccio, the animal activist, was on with us explaining about this group, LA Can, and Raman's relationship and Bass's relationship and their tactics. And LA Can is run by a woman who also ran Black Lives Matter here in LA, which was a massive racket. And now you have Gavin Newsom with this ban on, this is crazy. You're banning rodent poison to save a coyote. But now we could have hundreds of people potentially dying this year from the typhus infections. I don't. This is like a suicide missile that we've all jumped on, and I've never seen anything like it in history. When the people were dying of typhus hundreds of years ago, they were victims. They couldn't stop it. They didn't know what was going on. We know what causes typhus. We know about the chain of events here. Homeless encampments, food, garbage, rats, fleas, bites humans, we die. And the government's doing it to us. It potentially could kill a huge number of us with typhus because they idolize these homeless encampments, which are now sacred land. All right, we come back. Jamie Paige, $106 million to an agency. It's called, let me get the name of the agency again here. I want to get this right, not defame anybody. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles, $106 million. And they work to interfere with the city's ability to dismantle homeless camps and clean up city streets. Another one. Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Crews have restored water service to roughly 300 LA Department of Water and Power customers in the Hollywood Hills after repairing 2 water leaks. The first happened yesterday on Wonderland Avenue west of Laurel Canyon Boulevard. While working in the area today, crews found a second leak just a few feet away from the initial one. Wonderland Avenue remains closed between North Vado Drive and North Laurel Pass Avenue while crews complete street repairs and the cleanup. A large mountain lion that shut down part of a San Dimas neighborhood for hours is now in the care of the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. The animal was found beneath trees near Foothill Boulevard between Walnut Avenue and Longhorn Drive. KTLA says wildlife officials tranquilized the mountain lion with 2 darts before loading it into a crate and taking it away. Officials have not said where it will be relocated. The judge presiding over the trial of Nick Reiner has issued rules for media who plan to cover a hearing on August 17th over his trust fund.
At issue is whether Nick Reiner will be able to access a more than $1.5 million trust fund to pay for his defense. The trust fund set up by his parents, Rob and Michelle Reiner, who Nick is accused of murdering in their home in December of 2025. The judge says reporters can use laptops during the hearing for taking notes, but not for any kind of recording, pictures, or broadcast. In a 136-page petition, the lawyers write Nick loved his parents and he's devastated by their deaths. But the facts about what did and did not happen to them are not at issue in this trust litigation. Amy King, KFI News.
Todd Blanche appears headed for Senate confirmation as U.S. Attorney General. This comes as Republican Senator Bill Cassidy announced he will support the nomination.
All considered, I will vote for Mr. Blanche. I'll be criticized for this vote. What's new?
Cassidy's backing likely gives Blanche enough votes to overcome opposition from 2 other Republican senators. Blanche has been serving as acting attorney general since April and would become President Trump's second confirmed AG of his current term. Southland weather from KFI, low clouds and fog again in the morning, then sunny, highs 80s to low 90s. Metro LA, 90s to the triple digits for the valleys, the high desert, and the IE. Windy again in the high desert and the IE. Mid 70s to around 80 for the beaches, low to upper 80s inland OC. Right now, 82 in San Juan Capistrano and 88 in Staten. We're going to go back to the 5 in Gorman.
Boy, this is the worst spot to be right now for this drive. There's a fire in Gorman, and the 5 is closed. Northbound, they'll take you off the freeway at Smoky Bear Road, turn you right around, and send you southbound on that 5. Right now, there's a 4-mile backup just to get off of the freeway at Smoky Bear Road. And also, it looks like the Highway Patrol is shutting down the southbound side, taking traffic off at Fraser Park Road. Now, usually the 138 is a great option. Not today, because there's another fire burning just east of the 5, and that has the 138 off limits between 220th Street West and 117th Street West. So it's just an awful drive this afternoon. Let's check out the latest in South LA. Stall on the 110 northbound before Vernon. Carpool lane block, delays away from Florence Avenue. And also, let's get a peek at Norwalk on the 605 northbound at Firestone. They pulled a crash to the shoulder. The delays are loading up from the 105. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Hey, it's Conway here for Cars for Kids. We've donated 2 vehicles to Cars for Kids, and man, was it easy. Cars for Kids has been around for 30 years, and they know what they're doing. I recently saw firsthand one of their summer programs going on right now where they have over 1,400 kids. I saw hundreds of kids in the camp, and they couldn't thank Cars for Kids enough for making this incredible opportunity possible. So when you donate a car, you're helping real kids thrive this summer. CarsForKids.org. 1-877-CARS for Kids. KARS, Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K.
Have you been avoiding shorts or swimsuits because of painful varicose or embarrassing spider veins? Is that how you want to live? West Medical can help. Treatments may be covered by most PPO insurance plans, including Anthem Blue Cross, Aetna, Cigna, United Healthcare, and more. Don't ignore leg pain, swelling, or bulging veins. Call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL for your free consultation or visit westmedical.com today. Isn't it time to feel incredible?
Feel incredible. 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
I've looked into a HELOC and didn't qualify.
HELOC said no. Splitero says go. You only need a 500 minimum credit score and no income requirement. You keep your home and your existing mortgage rate. Visit Splitero.com today and access your home's equity.
Therapy Thursday with Ellen K is a brand new podcast. Heartbreak, hope, and a whole lot of what would you do? Stream now on the iHeartRadio app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Take action for your retirement. Call Golden Crest Metals, 888-447-7857.
Experience, reputation, and trust matter. If you've been injured, opolaw.com.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
At Sit and Sleep, we believe everyone should be able to afford a comfortable new mattress that helps them experience the California dream night after night.
Right, Dad. That's why at Sit and Sleep, we've negotiated special pricing that makes getting a great night's sleep more affordable for you.
At Sit and Sleep, you'll find Southern California's largest selection of top-quality mattresses for around $1,000 from top brands like Sealy, Serta, Nectar, Casper, Purple, and Brooklyn Bedding.
We're even making Tempur-Pedic more affordable. Right now, with your good credit, sleep interest-free on a Tempur-Pedic for only $56 a month.
And only Sit and Sleep has bed match technology that scientifically fits you with just the right mattress.
So for a mattress you can afford, come to the store that believes getting a great night's sleep isn't a luxury for the few, but a necessity for everyone.
And see why Sit and Sleep is the mattress store more Southern Californians trust to do their California dreaming. Sit and Sleep will beat anyone's advertised price, or your mattress is free.
We post it, you see it. It's like radio, but without the need for all that annoying imagination. Follow us now on all the socials at KFI AM 640.
John Kobylt Show, KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. And we're on from 3 to 6. We're live on YouTube. Go watch now. We're live on X as well. And after 6 o'clock, John Kobylt Show on demand on the iHeart app. Let me get Jamie Paige on here. Jamie writes a lot of good stuff for the California Post. And, yeah, you'll really enjoy this. If you're a taxpayer in L.A., city is spending $106 million of your money to a nonprofit law firm. The lawyers, one of their main jobs is to interfere with LA's ability to dismantle homeless camps and clean up city streets. Really. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles. Let's get Jamie Paige on, who wrote the story for the California Post. Jamie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, John?
I'm fine. Well, what's this about? I mean, we're paying tax money to subvert our own efforts to clean up the streets of the homeless encampments.
The final dollar amount was actually $177 million that was awarded through Nithya Raman's campaign. That was the initial pitched amount, and $177 million was approved.
What do you mean through Nithya Raman?
So I can, first of all, when I heard you yesterday when I was driving, I heard you talk about LA Can. LA Can is just one of the numerous organizations that we as a city taxpayers fund to essentially sue the city for the homeless encampments that take place. They sue the city for they're suing the city when they do these homeless encampment cleanups so that the city can't do them anymore.
Wait, just stop a second. I want people to understand this because we discussed it with Joey Tuccio yesterday, the animal activist, about the Skid Row disaster. So he's saying that Nithya Raman, Karen Bass are allies of LA Can, and that we spend, and you're saying we spend tax money so that LA Can is able to interfere with the police so that it's anything goes on Skid Row, including the murder of the animals. We're paying for this organization to interfere with our own police and our own city government.
It's LA Can. It's also Legal Aid Foundation is another one.
That's this one.
LAFLA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who got the $177 million deal.
Part of that, yes. The thing that's important for folks to know is just a few months ago, Nithya Raman awarded a contract to these organizations. They fall under this umbrella of tenants' rights, but a lion's share of what they do is they come to City Hall and protest a lot of anti-police ordinances or pays that come through, and then they take that action on the streets, and they will literally protest cleanups, encampment cleanups. Joey talked to you about what happens in Skid Row, but that happens all over the city. A lion's share of their work is going around the city, documenting encampment cleanups, and then suing the city for them, which the city now, if you hear the city say, there's nothing we can do, a lot of that is true because they are sued so many times by these organizations.
But we're paying.
Again, to connect the dots.
We're paying these organizations to sue the city.
Yes.
And the laws allow them to sue the city?
Not only do they allow them, a lot of times the city settles these lawsuits. So we end up paying for these lawsuits. I wrote a story about Sheila Myers, who is also one of the litigators who sues the city, I believe the most, if not, she's up there with the top. And Sheila Myers makes $1,000 an hour in some of these cases. So the city settles with her, and we help pay her salary through these contracts that we award them.
Well, why does everybody... I'm going to go jump out a window. Well, why does everybody on the city council and the mayor, why do they go along with all this? I mean, everything's a disaster. Nothing can get cleaned up.
The one person who has been shouting from the mountaintop is our city attorney, Heidi Soto, and actually Council Member Rodriguez also has legitimate concerns about the contracts that we're giving these organizations. The first one we awarded was Nithya Raman and Mike Bonin gave out the first contract to these folks for $7 million. That was during COVID. We now just signed $177 million to these nonprofits, who turn around and sue the city. And he said, I mean, they're the ones who are not allowing these encampment cleanups to take place all over the city.
Wait, and then they sue the city and they get even more money.
Yes.
Oh
they're double dipping. Is that what it's called? Yeah, when I heard you talking to Joey yesterday and you were appalled, I said, oh, no, you're just scratching the surface. This is one of several organizations. And your listeners should also know a lot of these nonprofits are also funneling money into the DSA city attorney candidate, Marissa Roy. If you go and look at her city ethics donation, a lot of attorneys from these nonprofits are giving her money.
Completes the whole corrupt circle. So at the end, the candidates get the big kickback. Oh,
well,
God.
Just think if Nithya Raman becomes mayor, how many more contracts will be passing out?
I don't understand this. This is not covered by anyone. You're the first that I've seen write about this stuff. Maybe you've written other stories. Joey Tuccio is just an independent activist, and he's telling the LA Can story yesterday. Otherwise, I have no idea. And I look at everything, and I don't see anybody covering this.
There are several of us reporters in that same meeting when those contracts were awarded. I think it's our responsibility as journalists to bring these stories to surface and to light, because it's our job to follow the taxpayer money and hold our elected officials accountable. It's also shocking to me that more publications, news outlets are not following these stories.
No.
You are. I hear you talking about it.
Yeah, I know. No, but I'm saying this is it. This is the conversation right here. There's nowhere else to go to hear or read anything other than you write the story. I see the story. We have a conversation about it. And this is big money here. You're talking over $100 million here. God knows what LA Can gets to disrupt the police and ensure the homeless camps aren't disturbed. It's hundreds of millions of dollars. And over time, it's billions.
Well, these are the same attorneys were fighting yesterday HUD in court for another $214 million that HUD says, we're not going to give you this money anymore unless you show us where it's going. So they were in court yesterday fighting for that paycheck.
I know. And much of the state and much of the people in the city don't want to hear that story because it's the Trump administration.
We've had this homeless crisis for a lot longer than he's been in office.
Oh, I know. They've been stealing money for many, many years. Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
And nobody cares. Nobody has any conscience about this.
Well, you do. You talk about it every day.
I'm talking about
some credit for that.
I'm talking about the people stealing the money and authorizing the money. Nobody's cut me in on this. Wow.
The honest ones.
Yeah. Listen, great work, Jamie. People, you ought to go read this thing. It's in the California Post. LA awards $106 million to a nonprofit whose lawyers hinder the city's ability to clean up the streets. That's the headline. Go look for that. Jamie, continue your wonderful work. Thank you very much.
Take care, John.
All right. Can you believe this? What a racket. And they've got a closed society there, and the money just circulates around, and they grab it as it's coming by on the conveyor belt. You cannot have a deeper level of corruption than what we have in LA. All right, Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. A fast-moving brush fire has scorched hundreds of acres near Gorman. The Homeland Security Department is setting new rules for when the public can see body camera footage from immigration enforcement operations. We'll have more at the top of the hour from the Odoo.com Weather Center. Odoo, the only business software you need. Sunny tomorrow, high 70s to the triple digits. This report brought to you by Positive Coaching Alliance. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Crash on the 10 in Mid-City.
This one's on the westbound side coming up on La Brea. 2 middle lanes is where it landed. Delays away from Western and eastbound slowing for that 10, stacking up out of Santa Monica, getting away from almost 20th Street as you continue all the way back towards the 5 in Boyle Heights. Let's take a look at Gorman. The 5 is shut down northbound. They'll take you off at Smoky Bear Road, turn you around and head you back south. And along the southbound side, on the Bakersfield side, that is, they will take you off at Fraser Park Road. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
This report is sponsored by Whole Foods Market. Bring better bacon to breakfast with Whole Foods Market. Get 25% off Applegate pork or turkey bacon with Prime through August 18th. Perfect for weekend brunches, breakfast sandwiches, and more. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Maestro of the Movies returns to the Hollywood Bowl for the ultimate concert celebration of John Williams. David Newman leads the Los Angeles Philharmonic and Williams' iconic film score favorites for a trio of can't-miss concerts September 4th, 5th, and 6th. This cherished bowl tradition features some of Williams' biggest hits, including scenes and clips from his best-loved films like Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and more on the Bowl's big screen. Get your tickets today at HollywoodBowl.com.
Getting you back to your life pursuit. Hoag Orthopedic Institute. Call 1-800-919-2000.
Silver is no longer just a commodity, it's a strategic resource. Global demand is hitting record highs while supply remains tight. Visit LearCapital.com for your free silver report. That's LearCapital.com. LearCapital.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
If you run a business, you know the value of trust. It's what keeps your customers coming back. And it's what you get when you advertise with iHeart. More than 75% of listeners consider iHeart hosts their friends and trust their recommendations. Now take that trusted influence and combine it with iHeart's massive reach and scale, and you've got the formula for growing your business. Learn how easy it is to tell your story through our voices. Call 844-844-iHeart today. That's 844-844-iHeart.
Hi, this is Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer. I've spent my career designing and building beautiful homes. I'm here on KFI to help you transform your house into a more beautiful home. And while we're at it, build yourself a more beautiful life.
Home with Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer. Tomorrow morning at 6 on KFI.
More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
A new report shows a significant increase in the number of kids in Orange County who don't know where their next meal is coming from, up 27% from just the year before. What's causing it? We'll get into that on Monks and Merrill, Monday at noon on KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. John Kobylt Show. And we've got two Ryan's in the Moist Line coming up next hour. At 5:20 and 5:50, and we're going to talk to Leticia Castillo as well, Republican Assemblywoman. I don't know. We're on a roll here when it comes to genetically engineered viruses that are going to kill ourselves. Now, how about genetically engineered pets? She wants to stop the sale and importation of genetically engineered pets that are then sold. They're created for cosmetic purposes.
What do you mean cosmetic purposes?
To change the way they look. That's probably a bad phrase that they used. But you get designer pets such as glow-in-the-dark rabbits.
Why would I want a glow-in-the-dark rabbit?
Oh, I think those would sell like crazy. That would be.
I mean, for kids. No,
Easter presents for children.
No.
Yeah, they go viral on TikTok in a second.
Oh my God, glow-in-the-dark rabbits.
That's.
Maybe they glow different colors, or they change colors.
No, you know what? Do you know how many people would, Eric's right, they would sell like crazy, and then people would just dispose of them.
It'll turn into a French bulldog situation like the Lady Gaga.
Oh, right. Miniature livestock that would be kept as companion animals. And then it'd be a whole range of what they call unicorn animals. I guess they'd come up with one-of-a-kind things you've never seen.
What's wrong with the domesticated animals we have right now?
I don't know. Well, she wants to stop this.
Good.
We'll talk to her coming up right after 5 o'clock. By the way, we're going to keep following up on the conversations over the last 2 days we've had with Joey Tuccio and also with Jamie Paige from the California Post. We are funding hundreds of millions, probably billions of dollars to nonprofits who actively interfere with the police, the sanitation department, any dismantling of homeless camps. They active, and then they sue and they get another payday. So they get our tax money to finance their operation, and then they sue to get a windfall after that. And you're looking at LA CAN, which is the LA Community Action Network, and LAFLA, which is Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles. All right, they're in our target site. Now listen to this, because the West Coast cities are the ones that are filled with the lunatics in government. Frontlines. This is an online investigation done by Turning Point USA, and they put out a video, and this is real. Seattle has spent $165 million on a library. $165 million. It's considered, if you look at it as architecture, one of the most beautiful libraries in the country, except they have let an enormous number of drug addicts take root inside the library, which is in downtown Seattle. And we're gonna play this report done by Frontlines from Turning Point USA.
This is Savannah Hernandez in front of Seattle's $165 million public library. Now, this library is 11 stories, has 10,000 windows. It's the most expensive library in all of Washington, and it is unfortunately overrun with the homeless. Now, the homeless issue is just one aspect of this library, and I was reading reviews, and people have talked about getting nearly attacked by the homeless, how there are foul odors in this library, that rats are often in the area due to the trash and junk collecting around the building. People state they've been harassed by the homeless here, and even the restrooms are unusable due to the homeless utilizing them to bathe or in some cases shoot up drugs. Now, I can attest to all of this because I went and I did a walkthrough of this library myself, and I witnessed several women, especially women with their children, straight up turn the other way and refuse to use the elevator because of how many homeless men were trying to get on it, or straight up turn around and walk the opposite direction because somebody was having some type of drug-induced psychosis. Now, another crazy thing about this library is on the 5th floor, they offer free fentanyl test strips and injectable Narcan with syringes that are open and available for anyone to just come pick up and take, including children. These objects can be found on a table and they are very accessible, so a curious child could potentially come and pick this up very easily at the Seattle Downtown Public Library. Now, I wanted to come here because there's an upcoming property tax increase that's going to be voted on by residents, with the city trying to raise $480 million for maintenance and security for not only this library, but the 27 library branches across the city. Now, to give you an example of some of the maintenance needs for this library, one of the 9th floor windows was broken from the inside. I wonder how that happened. The plumbing system is also being clogged by clothing and other items being flushed down the toilet. So a little idea of what's going on in this $165 million building. On top of that, going back to the windows, each one costs $30,000. And by the way, all 10,000 windows do need to be replaced just for basic upkeep and maintenance. And they can only be created by one company in Italy that produced them, meaning it's going to cost $300 million just to replace the windows. Now, I wanted to highlight that to give you guys an idea of how this $480 million budget might sound like a lot of money. However, it's barely enough to cover the maintenance for just one of the libraries in the Seattle area. There is still 26 more that need maintenance and security. By the way, a couple million of this budget is going to be going toward creating a new Office of Inclusion and Belonging for the library system, because of course it is. So just wanted to give you guys an idea of what Seattle's $165 million library looked like, how the homeless crisis was going in this area, and also how the budgeting was going under Seattle's Democratic Socialist Mayor, Katie Wilson. Yet another beautiful American library that is completely overrun by the homeless and very unsafe for American children here in Seattle, Washington.
And that was Savannah Hernandez who did that report for Frontlines Turning Point USA. Oh my God. And by the way, the Seattle residents who bothered to vote passed the tax increase. They're going to raise $480 million for libraries so that this monstrosity, this beautiful monstrosity that is filled with the insane, it is turned into a mental institution, outdoor and indoor mental institution. You go inside the library, you've got numerous drug addicts and mental patients, and the city, the taxpayers, provide the fentanyl test strips, the injectable Narcan. Because of all the overdoses going on, they've got a table. So if you see somebody dying, spasming out, whatever they do when you overdose on fentanyl, you can give them the Narcan shot. What's gone on here? What? And I saw the video. You ought to watch the video. It's online. You can't go to the elevator. There's all these insane drug addicts standing outside the elevator. This is a library for children and people who like a quiet place to go read. And this is new. This is new money that they're going to spend. Not to mention the Office of Inclusion and Belonging. This is the most bizarre suicidal cult that I've ever seen in our lifetimes in this country, in this society. It is the sickest stuff. I just don't understand. Okay, when we come back, today's the news of the bizarre. We're going to talk with an assemblywoman who is she's got legislation to stop designer animals. This genetic editing that creates glow-in-the-dark bunnies and animals that have never been seen before in nature, like the virus is never seen before in nature that we talked about earlier. That's all. That's next. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Brush fire. I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. A fast-moving brush fire has scorched hundreds of acres near Gorman, forcing the full closure of the 5 and triggering evacuation orders and warnings. Firefighters from several agencies are battling the Ridge Fire, which spread rapidly this afternoon. It has no containment. There are no immediate reports of injuries, but flames crossed the freeway as crews worked from the ground in the air. Angel will have more coming up in her traffic report on how this is affecting traffic. The news is brought to you by Seller's Advantage. A judge has refused to dismiss the public corruption case against LA City Councilman Curran Price. The ruling clears the way for the case to move toward trial on felony charges that include embezzlement of public funds, conflict of interest, and perjury. Prosecutors accuse Price of misusing city money and failing to disclose financial ties involving his wife's business. Price continues to deny any wrongdoing. He's due back in court in October. A bomb threat that prompted a large emergency response at a hospital in Pasadena is connected with an extremist group.
Huntington Hospital has reopened after the threat, which was received at about 5:40 this morning. A spokesperson for the city says the threat came from an extremist group known to law enforcement. The group has not been named. The incident was cleared shortly before 9 a.m. Emergency patients were being diverted to other hospitals during the investigation. Daniel Martindale, KFI News.
It appears that the health of Jackie, the big bear bald eagle, is getting worse.
We are sorry to share that today's update is not positive.
That Instagram post from the Ojai Raptor Center, which has been treating Jackie for severe anemia and other issues.
Last night was particularly difficult.
They say the percentage of red blood cells in her bloodstream is again fallen below 10% after being higher earlier this week.
Her condition remains critical.
They're doing more testing and consulting with experts, but aren't sure exactly what's wrong.
We will share another update when we have a clearer understanding of what this week's findings mean.
Jason Nathanson, KFI News.
The Homeland Security Department is setting new rules for when the public can see body camera footage from immigration enforcement operations. ABC's Luke Barr reports ICE will release videos of shootings or other serious incidents only if officials determine it is in the agency's best interest.
The body-worn camera policy was written in early 2025 and says that after a high-profile shooting or incident, a panel of individuals will review the footage and determine whether it be released.
ICE says all of its field officers will be equipped with body cameras by the end of September. The nation's job market has stumbled. The Labor Department says the U.S. economy lost 23,000 jobs in July. That's far worse than what analysts expected. The Labor Department also revised May and June payrolls down by more than 100,000 jobs combined. KPMG chief economist Diane Swank says it will be even more difficult for companies to hire if inflation continues to tick up.
In the service sector, there was some mixed messages about whether or not it was a little stagflationary because both manufacturing and services showed a lot of inflation, even though hiring was not terrific in the service sectors.
The unemployment rate dipped to 4.1%, but only because fewer Americans were looking for work. Unemployment rates for the U.S. and Canada highlight the different ways they get their numbers.
The latest jobs report shows Canada added more than 75,000 jobs, more than 4 times the amount expected for July. The latest numbers also show its jobless rate at 6.4%, the lowest in 2 years. That may still seem high compared to the 4.1% for the U.S., but the countries get their numbers differently. Both require people to look for jobs to be considered unemployed, obviously, but Canada requires documentation of all job search activities, while the U.S. requires more active searching, including going on interviews. When adjusted using the same data, Canada's lower population still gives it a higher rate, but only by about 1 percentage point. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
And a serial rapist in North Carolina serving a 167-year sentence for attacking 7 women now claims he is a woman and is suing to be moved to a women's prison. The Iraq War veteran also wants an operation to become what he calls a fully functional female. Southland weather from KFI, low clouds and fog back again in the morning and sunny. Highs 80s to low 90s. Metro LA 90s to the triple digits in the valleys, the high desert and the IE. Windy again for the high desert and the IE. Mid 70s to around 80 at the beaches. Low to upper 80s for inland OC. Right now, 78 in Dana Point. It's 89 in Anaheim, 91 in Diamond Bar, and 88 in Simi Valley. The KFI Financial Update brought to you by Supersure. Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform. All your business insurance in one place. The Dow closed up 152. S&P 500 up 48, NASDAQ up 342. Crash on the 210 in Duarte.
This one's on the eastbound side, just past Buena Vista, left lane blocked and delays. Well, it is backing up all the way out of Pasadena. So watch out for that very slow drive off of the 134. Now let's head out to Gorman. Deborah mentioned that the 5 is off limits due to this fire, and northbound traffic will be diverted off at Smoky Bear Road. They'll turn you right around and put you back on the southbound side of the 5 to get you out of there. Now, if you're coming in from the Bakersfield side, that 5 southbound also off limits at Fraser Mountain Park. And they'll divert you off at the freeway there as well. Let's look at Mid-City with a wreck on the 10 westbound before La Brea. Landing in 2 middle lanes, delays backing up away from Western, eastbound slowing from just about 20th Street, heading back to the 5. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Conway here. Join me and Travel Store for a luxurious Caribbean cruise in February of 2027 aboard Oceania's newest ship. San Juan to 5 beautiful islands, and we'll finish in Miami. Book by August 17th for a $200 onboard credit. 800-777-6540 or ConwayCruise.com.
I was unable to take a walk around my neighborhood and
nothing alleviated the pain. And I went in to the Good Feet store. I got fitted for the arch supports. It changed my life, and it could change yours too.
We have 11 area locations. Find the one closest to you at goodfeet.com.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
Lose the weight. Feel incredible. Just call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
Worried about inflation, market volatility, or the weakening dollar? More Americans are turning to physical gold and silver to help diversify their retirement savings. Right now, receive up to $25,000 in free silver with a qualifying purchase. Call 888-447-7857 now to speak with a gold specialist. That's 888-447-7857. Again, call 888-447-7857. Not a financial advisor. Precious metals involve risk. Free silver offers a 10% bonus in silver on qualifying purchases of premium mint coins. $10,000 minimum purchase required. Bonus silver cap to $25,000 and credit to customer account. See goldencrestmetals.com for full terms.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. It's the John Kobylt Show. We are on from 3 to 6 after 6 o'clock in about an hour or so. You can hear the whole show as a podcast, same as the radio. John Kobylt Show on demand on the iHeart app. We are live on YouTube. We are live on X, the video. And you can go to youtube.com/@JohnKobyltShow and subscribe and become a member. And speaking of YouTube, we're going to be live streaming next Thursday at 11 a.m. So we have a special 11 a.m. Showing, secret showing. You go to YouTube. And we'll do something extra. Because on Thursday, we only have a 1-hour show. No, I'm not joking. We're only on from 3 to 4 next Thursday. We're getting preempted by the first preseason game of the Los Angeles Chargers. Not making that up. So we only get 1 hour on the radio. So we thought we'd give you a bonus hour at 11 o'clock that you could listen to later if you wish. How are we doing on the guest here? We hooked up? Well, I don't know if I want to set this whole thing up, and then there's no finish to this. All right, why don't you let me know if and when she shows up, okay? We're supposed to have Assemblywoman Leticia Castillo on over genetically engineered pets is a new thing. Glow-in-the-dark rabbits. There's a lot of companies already exploring all this. Miniature livestock that you could have as companion animals. And they're trying to invent unicorn animals, things that you don't see in nature. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sounds so wrong. They going to do that to people? Are we going to have a new type of human one day?
That would be interesting, huh?
Glow-in-the-dark humans.
Yeah. Humans are so difficult to deal with. I might be into going to a designer warehouse and
picking out your perfect human.
Yes. What pronoun is glow in the dark?
I don't know what you would call these.
Glowies.
Glowing bunnies and something called dire wolf pups brought back from extinction. They're going to bring animals back from extinction using DNA found in ancient fossils. The dire wolves last roamed America 9,500 years ago, along with the woolly mammoths and the saber-toothed tigers.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
We're going to bring dinosaurs back too?
Well, I guess eventually, yeah. All that stuff in the movies, all the science fiction is going to come to pass.
Park.
Yeah. Well, that'd be great, huh? Have a big dinosaur.
Yeah, and then we have another, pandemic, and we have a dinosaur roaming around. Yeah, dinosaurs.
You're worried about earthquakes.
I know.
The dinosaur poking his head in the window here and crashing through.
No, thank you.
It's all coming. We got to check out soon. I keep telling you.
I'm serious. We really do.
It's time to go. I've lived long enough. I've seen enough.
But our kids. I worry about our kids.
They're on their own.
Clearly.
We raised them to handle this sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, they're going to handle a dinosaur crashing through a window.
Do you know, have you heard about Meta's new smart glasses? I'm telling you, one of the worst moments in the history of the planet was when the sperm hit the egg and created Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, God.
If we could only go back in time and get that egg.
Or that sperm.
Or that sperm, both of them. Yikes. Why did this have to happen? So Facebook, of course, destroyed people's brains. They developed this addictive technology so that people not only stare at screens all day, but they share everything about their stupid, idiotic lives, and they share every stupid, idiotic thought that they have. Now, coming out of Zuckerberg's bowels is these smart glasses, which look like regular glasses, and now you could record people without their knowledge and publish the videos on social media. So people are freaking out because women especially are expecting that guys are going to wear these and try to provoke the women and then put their reactions online, because if you're out in public, that's fair game. Plus, if you wear glasses at the gym and you end up, in the restrooms, or you could start wearing them on dates during sex and then posting your Tinder date online. If you do it, be very suspicious of any guy who's wearing glasses during the act.
Okay, John.
Well, I'm trying to warn you. Okay, if you're looking up and he's got a pair of glasses on, he might be recording you, and you're going to be all over. You're going to be all over Twitter tomorrow.
I'm married, John. You're acting like I'm going off with different men and have to worry about that.
Well, I didn't mean you.
Oh, okay.
All right, I tell you this: even if your husband suddenly puts on a pair of glasses, okay, you don't know what guys are up to.
That's true.
Jimmy Kimmel called them pervert glasses, and that's what they're going to be used by. They're going to be used by perverts. And there's been a big backlash. And so now Zuckerberg is updating its glasses to address privacy concerns. Well, they're not going to do that because they don't care. They've knowingly allowed pedophiles to exploit Facebook and Instagram for over 20 years. In fact, this story came out today. A New Mexico judge ordered Meta to pay $567 million because the company misled users about the safety of its platforms and enabled the sexual exploitation of young people, because perverts were going online and making contact with young children and teenagers. And they allowed these guys to have sex, to recruit sexual partners online. And this became a lawsuit in New Mexico. And now Meta, Zuckerberg's company, is on the hook for $567 million. This is on top of another $375 million that Meta was ordered to pay in the same case. So this is two financial penalties totaling what here? Almost $1 billion, about $950 million. Meta's social media platforms, according to a judge, are a significant contributing factor to the current mental health crisis among New Mexico's youth. A lot of states are doing this. Maybe all the states are suing. The judge in this case is Brian Bidscheid of a state district court in Santa Fe. And they want to now, Meta is prohibited in New Mexico from sending push notifications to underage users for Instagram and Facebook between 10 at night and 7 in the morning. And it's going to put a limit, I don't know how they're going to enforce this, to no more than 90 hours a month. 90 hours a month gives sexual predators plenty of time to find these boys and girls. Meta is facing thousands of lawsuits across the country filed by teenagers, school district, and attorneys general over these issues. And now they've introduced pervert glasses. And Zuckerberg reminds me of Scott Wiener. I mean, they have the same body and the same, like, Wiener's always trying to pass bills to make it more and more legal for adults to have sex with underage boys. And Zuckerberg is always making it easier for these perverts to find the underage boys and girls. And now with the pervert classes, so you could record yourself having sex with the boys and the girls. So, I mean, Wiener and Zuckerberg ought to be locked up in a mental institution together. They're two of a kind. All right. When we come back, I guess we have, are we going to have Leticia Castillo on? Okay. We're not going to have her on. But I want to have her on because we're talking about glow-in-the-dark bunnies and all these other, they're calling them novelty pets. Animals not seen in nature that are being genetically engineered by companies. She wants to ban them. So we'll get her on. All right. We got the Moist Line next, round one. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. The 5 freeways shut down in both directions near the LA Kern County line because of a fast-moving brush fire. And the court fight over the White House ballroom is heating up. We'll have more at the bottom of the hour. Southland weather from KFI, sunny tomorrow, high 70s to the triple digits. This report brought to you by Amazon Autos. From your Toyota dealers traffic center, we make it easy. It's slow on the 405 in Irvine.
So we're heading northbound, and delays are backing up, getting away from the 133 freeway. It's pretty heavy and slow to just before the 710 in Long Beach. As Deborah mentioned, the 5 is closed. This is due to a fire in Gorman, and that northbound side of the 5, you'll be diverted off of the freeway at Smoky Bear Road. They're going to turn you around and send you southbound on that 5. From Bakersfield, the 5 southbound is off limits at Fraser Mountain Park, where they'll take you off the freeway. Northbound delays, about 6-mile backup just to get off of the freeway. And southbound, it's about a 3-mile delay. We're also looking at the Cajon Pass, Terrible Drive, 15 southbound, earlier wreck coming up on Oak Hill. Looks like only one lane's open for travel with this investigation. Delays all the way out of Hesperia. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Sports injuries can keep you off the field, off the court, out of the activities you love. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, fellowship-trained orthopedic sports medicine specialists treat athletes of every level, from weekend warriors to elite competitors. Hoag Orthopedic Institute doctors serve up top-level teams and athletes across the region, and they're the official healthcare and sports medicine partner of the CIF Southern Section, Trinity League, and many top college sports programs across Southern California. They offer the latest innovations in non-surgical treatments and, when needed, minimally invasive surgery designed to get you back faster and safer. And they treat everything from sudden sports injuries or complex orthopedic conditions affecting your knee, shoulder, hip, wrist, ankle, even your back. Hoag builds a personalized treatment plan, proudly physician-owned, accepting most PPO and Medicare insurance plans. Call 800-919-2000, 800-919-2000. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Picture this. You're on magician duty at your kid's birthday, and it's also car shopping day. Sounds tough, right? Not with Amazon Autos. Shop for your car online, pick it up at the dealership, so you can get back to making magic. Visit Amazon.com/autos.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
Gold and silver recently hit record highs, then pulled back. So are metals still a good buy? Many experts say yes. Gold remains a long-standing hedge for wealth protection. Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold kit. That's LearCapital.com. LearCapital.com.
I'm not great with words after a fight, and I'm sorry, wasn't cutting it this time. So I used Smile Tunes to write a soulful ballad about how she's always right. By the second chorus, the silent treatment was officially over. Visit SmileTunes.com and get out of the doghouse today.
It's your home and your home equity. Shouldn't you be able to access it? The bank didn't think so. When HELOC said no, Splatero said go. There's only a 500 minimum credit score and no income requirement. What's the catch? You keep your existing mortgage rate. That's not a catch. With Splatero's personalized process, you can get your funds faster. Also, not a catch. Visit Splatero.com today. That's SPLITERO.com. No monthly payments, just cash in hand. Splatero.
In this edition of the Marketer's Report, Monica Tam, head of brand media for DoorDash, talks about audio's connection to daily rituals.
Audio plays a really important role. There's daily rituals that you do. In all of those moments, you're able to instill a message that lingers in their head when they do have to make that decision.
The #1 audio company, iHeartMedia connects marketers to the audiences, live conversations, and trusted influencers you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartAdvertising.com.
Why do you love movies? Is it the emotion, the spectacle, the escapism? On Raiders of the Lost podcast, we explore cinema like no one else, including huge interviews with stars like Ryan Gosling on Project Hail Mary.
It was like the Jaws shark. Didn't always work, came with its own problems. That's what made it great. The heart of the movie is Rocky and Grace, and their friendship is hard-earned.
Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Raiders of the Lost podcast, and listen now.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Coming up on the next Gary and Shannon show.
The latest Lollapalooza is proof we do like doing things all together at the same time.
Gary and Shannon show starts Monday morning at 9.
This is the last keyword, like for months, hopefully. All right, last time to win $1,000. Let's go.
Now is your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bonus. That's BONUS. Enter it now at KFIAM640.com/cash.
KFI.
Bonus. Enter that at KFIAM640.com/cash. If you win, you get an email. Check your junk and spam folder. And that's it. No more money for you for a while. It's the last $1,000 for now. We're going to do the moist line in just a moment. I was looking at the stories that we had saved because we were going to talk to Leticia Castillo about her bill in the assembly to stop this gene editing, gene manipulation of animals. And apparently this is a company out of Texas, but they call themselves the Los Angeles Project, and they're behind all the stuff I listed. And so going through some of the details, and this is, there's a whole class of startups, and they want to create new animals. So the glow-in-the-dark rabbits, they're going to engineer the rabbits with a jellyfish gene that causes them to glow under ultraviolet light.
That doesn't sound safe.
They're also going to produce cats that don't trigger allergies.
Oh, I actually heard that they did something like that to these beagles, these dogs.
What happened? Did the beagles come out all right?
Yeah, they did. That they're hypoallergenic. Yeah.
They're going to create jackalopes. Get this, dragons.
Dragons.
They're going to create dragons. Dragons aren't real. Where'd they get the DNA for that?
Don't you have a bearded dragon?
Yeah, but it's not breathing fire. Or and unicorns. They're going to create unicorns somehow. Unicorns aren't real, right?
No, as far as I know, they're not.
That's why I don't understand this. Scientists recreated the dire wolves. I mentioned those before. What they did is they took living gray wolves and edited 14 genes to match the dire wolf DNA. And they found DNA from a 13,000-year-old tooth and a 72,000-year-old skull. And they made these already, dire wolf puppies. They altered the nuclei of the cells, implanted them into gray wolf eggs, developed into embryos, and then they put them into dogs. It was like surrogacy.
Why?
3 pups were born healthy. They're in the DX. This is by a company called Colossal. There's several of these companies. They're going to bring back the woolly mammoth in 2028. They're going to rewrite elephant DNA. They've already produced 38 woolly mice. Something horrible is going to happen. It's just not good.
People are worried about coyotes chasing and eating their animals.
This is not good. All right, let's do a round of the Moist line here. 877-MOIST-86 for next Friday. Let's do round one.
Hey, it's John. Thanks for calling the Moist line. I'm so excited to hear from you. It's about time.
The only way you're going to fix anything in LA is for people to get together and they go round up the homeless, they go round up the drug addicts, and they pick them up and they take them to where Bass lives, to where their representatives live. You have to put it in their backyard, and then they'll see about fixing it.
Here's the irony of living in the city of LA. We have coyotes in West Hollywood that might attack people and kill people. They're living in abandoned buildings. And if anybody kills those coyotes, it'll be the biggest news story out there. Animal activists will their pants. Meanwhile, at the same exact time, the city of LA kills 2,100 animals every month? You gotta be joking me.
I know you like to rag on the current mayor of Los Angeles, but you have to be a little bit careful because if you rag on her a little bit too much, then you're just doing nothing more than boosting the possibility of receiving the other candidate as our new mayor.
I hear you talking about Karen Bass again. What an I totally agree.
I heard Bass gave a speech in East LA with the audacity of lineage to apply for a rebuild permit after all of the lack of action on this crisis. She's an expert in lack of action. Look at Palisades.
We want evidence. We want people to go to jail. Follow the money. Who's sending it? Who's getting it?
If these kids are in their 20s and 30s still living with their parents, the hell if they're going to have kids. They can't afford to support themselves, let alone children.
Mark Ridley Thomas. I am so happy for you, Mr. John Kobylt. That is great. He's going to jail. And you know what? If you do end up escorting him, it better be on YouTube because I would love to see that. He is shameful. He has no remorse in what he's done. Don't let the door hit you in the ass.
Where is the proof that there's fraudulent voting going on? Can you show us?
John, I was just listening to you talk about the two communists that are running for mayor. This is outrageous. Oh, my God. We are so screwed.
Wow. When you listen to it, Nithya sounds and talks exactly like AOC. My God,
yes.
If you didn't say it was her, I would think you had AOC on.
Yeah, just as stupid.
You're hitting a nerve right now because I had some 30-year-old back into me as I was driving behind her as she was backing out of a parking spot. She did not want to give me her information until I was nice to her.
Something you got to start keeping an eye on with that warehouse fire in Boyle Heights. Hey, that sucks. Those people, are going through a lot. But the city council now wants to give them cash relief, etc. That is going to open up fraud from people all over the state, all over the city, etc. So we got to keep an eye on that because the fraudsters are going to be out on that one for sure.
Nithya Raman saw an opportunity. She saw the grassroots campaign for Spencer Pratt grow gigantically and crazy over time. And she jumped on it and jumped on his ideas to promote her over Karen Bass. Don't expect anything out of her. She's going to do the same that Karen Bass has done because they're two peas in a pod. They're from the same mold.
If they had ordered those trains and they came in 4 years, where were they going to test them?
Well, I'm a railroad geek, and I actually voted for that stupid thing. And here's the point. Why buy train sets so they can sit in a yard and they pay interest on it when there's no track to test them on? And 4 years of testing? These people are out of their minds.
There's already a head honcho of whatever, and his name is Gavin Newsom.
The DSA is doing to the Democratic Party just like Trump did to the Republican Party. Trump changed the Republican Party totally, their focus. And the DSA is turning around the Democratic Party. And you're going to see the DSA really come on. Look out. Dangerous.
Thank you for leaving your message. Please hang up. Goodbye.
Round two coming up in just about 20 minutes. Got Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
The 5 freeway is shut down in both directions near the LA-Kern County line because of a fast-moving brush fire. Firefighters responded just after 2:30 today to the Ridge Fire near Gorman, which has already burned more than 500 acres, could quickly reach 1,000. Evacuation orders and warnings are in effect as crews from multiple counties are battling the fire from the ground and the air. The news is brought to you by Sellers Advantage. Water service has been restored to about 300 customers in the Hollywood Hills after crews repaired 2 breaks in the same water main. The second leak was discovered just feet from the first after repairs started. Jonathan Luang with the LADWP says the tank is 67 years old and has only had 2 previous leaks over the last 2 decades.
The leaks were really at an angle point, which is a junction fitting on the pipe. So we're going to take a look at this information, compare that to the previous information, do some other studies, and figure out if we need to reprioritize the replacement of this pipe.
All service was restored around 2 o'clock today. An HBO talk show host says the Rialto police are sketchy with their surveillance.
Last week, tonight's John Oliver featured police using private security cameras. He said new businesses in Rialto were required to give access to their system in order to get a permit. Rialto police says no business has been stopped for saying no. The show requested a searchable digital file of officers looking at private cameras as required by law. Instead, got more than 30,000 pages in boxes. The footage showed cops often looking at employee-only areas of fast food restaurants and the days in pool in Rialto for hundreds of hours. Rialto police say officers weren't watching the cameras, but passively monitoring them in case of an emergency. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
The court fight over the White House ballroom is escalating. ABC's Rachel Scott says President Trump is taking his fight to the Supreme Court after a federal appeals court ruled construction must stop unless he obtains congressional approval.
In a blistering 2-to-1 rebuke, the majority writing, each president is a temporary tenant, adding, whether or not a massive ballroom should be constructed is for Congress to decide and is not a matter of executive self-help.
The president has already demolished the East Wing to make room for the $400 million ballroom. Construction has been underway for 10 months. And a man is living above the Sunset Strip.
Netflix has turned a billboard at Sunset and Selma into a fully furnished living room, complete with a real person inside. The man hangs out in a robe, waves to people below, and communicates by writing messages on a whiteboard. It's a promotion for Netflix's new thriller, The Last House, starring Wagner Moura and Greta Lee. It's about a family trapped inside their home by a mysterious force. People passing by are calling the billboard surreal and amazing. The Last House is streaming now on Netflix. Heather Brooker, KFI News.
Southland weather from KFI. Low clouds and fog again in the morning, then sunny. 80s to low 90s. Metro LA, 90s to the triple digits in the valleys, the high desert, and the IE. Windy again in the high desert and the IE. Mid 70s to around 80 for the beaches. Low to upper 80s inland OC. Right now it's 83 in Laguna Woods and 89 in Rancho Santa Margarita. Crash on the 405 in Gardena.
Let me tell you something. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until renewal. Well, your business runs all year round, and so do the gaps and the risk. That's why I'm introducing SuperSure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, HR manager, it can be really complex just to buy a policy online. SuperSure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like Find Print Facts, which actually translates your current policy into plain English so you know what's covered and what's not. Plus, they have a business value calculator so you can get an idea of what your business is worth so you actually know what you need to protect it. Go to supersure.com, one super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Go to supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Hey, did you see that Morongo's giving away a Mustang GT Fastback? I've always wanted a vroom with a view. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
We're giving away a 2026 Mustang GT Fastback. Earn entries now, and you could drive off a winner the 31st.
Number 2.
A lighted makeup box is yours when you earn 500 points on your rewards card the 11th.
And the number 1 reason.
Walker Hayes on the 22nd. Buy tickets now.
Morongo, good times.
Worried about what your breath smells like after coffee, lunch, drinks, or a night out? That's why we created Zellman's, the breath mint for grown-ups. Zellman's is not available in stores, so go to Zellmans.com. That's ZELMINS.com and use code SAVE for 15% off your first order.
Lose the weight, feel incredible. Just call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
Every day, Californians work hard to build a better future. They deserve leaders who work just as hard for them, not for special interests. In the Assembly, Juan Carrillo is delivering solutions for the high desert, building more affordable housing, investing in good-paying jobs, and lowering costs for hardworking families. Because California deserves problem solvers who deliver real solutions on the issues that matter most. Paid for by Grow California.
You don't pay for iHeartRadio. Our advertisers do. That's why it's always been and always will be 100% free. Radio, music, podcasts. Download the iHeartRadio app now.
Tap into Happy Hour with half-price pizzas and select apps every weekday at Yard House. Find yours at yardhouse.com.
This August, choose any 2 offers from American Vision Windows. Give them a call or visit the website today.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
Here at Habis Law, we've been doing what we do for 40 years.
What we do is make cold-hearted corporations
do the right thing.
Because it's the right thing to do.
I'm Nicholas Habis. A lot has changed in the past 40 years.
But the ideals and philosophies that hold Habis Law together have not changed at all. I'm Omar Habis.
Our core beliefs have only grown stronger.
We believe in really getting to know our clients.
We believe in learning about their families, their hobbies, and their jobs.
Because when you really know a person, it gives you extra strength to fight for them.
Because you think of them as a friend.
They don't teach that in law school.
We believe that lawyers who don't truly know their clients can never be as effective as lawyers that do.
We believe that lawyers who no longer care
can no longer be effective.
These are the beliefs of Habis Law.
Habis Law will never let you down.
That's our family's promise to your family.
Call Habis Law at 1-800-INJURED.
Talk with us and your day will get a whole lot better.
HAWASLaw.com.
Omar Habis and Nicholas Habis are California licensed attorneys with an office in Los Angeles. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station.
More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. John Kobylt Show. We're on every day from 3 until 6, and then after 6 o'clock, John Kobylt Show on demand on the iHeart app. And Moist Line is coming up in about 15 minutes or so, less. You know, Eric Swalwell easily could have been the leading candidate for governor right now instead of that dud Javier Becerra. And you know what happened to him. A dozen women have come out to say that they were raped or otherwise sexually assaulted by Swalwell. And if you remember, for years, there are stories that he had a Chinese spy who was his girlfriend who was working in his congressional office. Her name, Christine Fang. She was a real person. Her nickname was Fang Fang. And she was a Chinese intelligence operative. And she had wormed her way into a number of politicians' lives across the country and ended up in California with Swalwell. And everybody thinks he was having an affair with her. And he was on the Intelligence Committee at the time. This is going back to 2020 when the story became public. He's on the Intelligence Committee, and we find out that he was probably having a sexual affair with a Chinese spy. Whatever she did, it worked. And Nancy Pelosi was defending him. Eventually, he was kicked off the committee. But then the FBI director for Trump, Kash Patel, when he took over, he was going to release the files on Swalwell and Fang Fang. But this was stopped for a time. You know why? Because it looks like Swalwell also dated the now wife of one of Donald Trump's top White House aides, Stephen Miller, who's officially the deputy chief of staff for policy. But you've seen this guy if you follow politics. He's the young, very loud, fast-talking, very bald aide who goes on cable television and will talk, give 10-minute answers on how horrific, let's say, Joe Biden's border policy was. And he's been the architect of a lot of the policies. Well, they wanted to protect him from embarrassment and his wife from embarrassment because Swalwell used to date Stephen Miller's wife. At the time, her name was Katie Waldman. Now she's Katie Miller. And Swalwell leveraged the relationship with Katie Miller to keep embarrassing FBI files locked up. The files that would show this crazy affair he was having with the Chinese spy. So he's sleeping with the Chinese spy, and he's sleeping with the now wife of one of Trump's top aides. This is all they do there. This is all
They have
they
a lot
do.
of stamina.
And then he's got 12 other women claiming they were attacked by him.
I hope he doesn't get a heart attack.
I mean, I'd love to see Swalwell's organs publicly harvested. That would be great. Now, Fang Fang has fled the country. She's back in China. She was recalled. This Swalwell is so nuts, and he was staying with Stephen Klubeck, and Klubeck's been on the show, and he was running for governor, Klubeck, and then when Klubeck dropped out, he threw his support to Swalwell and gave Swalwell a home. Meantime, Klubeck was in court today because you remember his girlfriend Adva. She's the one who's been luring men online and then stealing lots of stuff from them. Well, she's up on new felony charges. They won't even give her bail anymore. And Klubeck, defending Adva's reputation, called up some of these men that she had swindled and threatened them. Well, that's a felony. You can't tamper and threaten witnesses. This is what the prosecution's saying. So Adva's in jail. Klubeck's facing a court hearing today over those felony charges. And Swalwell is facing all kinds of felony charges as well. He's being investigated by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office and the Justice Department. And so that's why he resigned from Congress. That's why he exited the governor's race. That's why Klubeck threw him out. The hell was going on in that house? And then Adva's running her side business, luring men, stealing stuff. Yikes. My life is so
boring.
Yes, very
Simple.
drab.
Same.
I don't have any Chinese spies as mistresses.
You don't?
No, I don't. I don't think my wife is luring men online and then stealing their wallets and watches.
I don't.
But this was every day in the Klubeck house between him and he's calling up and screaming at Adva's dates. Yeah, they were all living in the house together for, I think, several months earlier this year. And Swalwell is on the fast track. Absolutely. If women didn't start talking, he'd be leading for governor right now. All right, we're going to have Moist Line Round 2 coming up in just moments. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. A judge has sided with Attorney General Bonta, who changed the title of California's voter ID ballot measure. And the Dodgers become the first MLB team to gross more than $1 billion in revenue in 2025. We'll have more at the top of the hour. We will check and see how it's looking in Gorman next.
Listen to this. Yeah, you don't hear anything. That's my phone. I don't get spam calls. I don't get spam texts. I get silence from my phone. Your phone is probably going off all the time because data brokers are selling your personal information like it's on clearance. Your phone number, home address, email, family members, political affiliations, even where you bank. Those scammers blowing up your phone, they didn't get lucky. They bought your information. They have it. And they'll keep buying it and selling it over and over again until you make it stop. How do you do this? I did it with Incogni. Incogni, I-N-C-O-G-N-I. They automatically remove your personal information from hundreds of data brokers and people search sites. For me, they removed them from about 324 sites. Incogni sends the legal removal requests. Then they follow up and keep monitoring so your information stays off the lists. And I've seen that as well. So if scammers can't find you, they can't target you. Get 60% off right now at incogni.com/KFI. Incogni.com/KFI.
Southland weather from KFI. Sunny and hot again tomorrow. Highs in the 70s to the triple digits. This report brought to you by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
This is CEOs You Should Know with Division President of iHeartMedia, Paul Corvino.
Right now, I have the privilege of talking with Pranav Yadav, the CEO of NeuroInsight. It's a research company that helps marketers get a real sense of what people actually remember and feel beyond what they say out loud. This is going to be fascinating. So tell me, how are advertisers using your product now?
Advertisers, like I said, use it for strategy, product, and communication. The lowest hanging fruit is advertising. I can look at the arc of the story and figure out by looking at people's brains whether they're likely to make a purchase or not based on the memory creation for branding or key messages. I can identify whether the story itself was something that's relevant to that audience or not. So that basically feeds into the entire positioning of how you pitch something to begin with.
Listen to CEOs You Should Know on the iHeartRadio app.
Silver is no longer just a commodity. It's a strategic resource. Demand is up and supply is tight. Experts expect prices to soar. Visit LearCapital.com for your free silver report. LearCapital.com. That's LearCapital.com.
Therapy Thursday with Ellen Kay is a new iHeart podcast. Real-life drama with real-life consequences and advice that might just save the day. Hear it now on the iHeartRadio app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Want more than just awareness for your business? An iHeartMedia partnership can help drive action through sweepstakes, ticket giveaways, listener contesting, and local media. Attach your business to high-energy music moments built to grow awareness, engagement, and leads. Get started at iHeartAdvertising.com.
KFI presents Revisionist History with Malcolm Gladwell. A journey through the overlooked and the misunderstood.
I'm Malcolm Gladwell. Every episode re-examines something from the past, an event, a person, an idea, even a song, and asks whether we got it right the first time. Because sometimes the past deserves a second chance.
Revisionist History. Tomorrow night at 9 on KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Some apps say they're free, then come the fees. Not the iHeart app. It's 100% free. No required subscriptions to access the best live radio stations, free playlists, podcasts, and more. Download the free iHeart app today. iHeart Radio.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Hey, it's Conway Show. Yes, great neighbors still exist in Los Angeles. And I'm going to tell you where the best neighborhoods are with the greatest neighbors in LA. It's important to have great neighbors. That's all today after 6 on the Conway Show.
KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Today's really been a day of stories about things you've never heard before, such as how they've edited viruses with AI and created new viruses that don't exist in nature. You know what's going to happen there. And then there's the company that's editing genes, and they're going to create animals that you've never seen before, like glow-in-the-dark bunnies. And they're going to bring back woolly mammoths, and they're going to create unicorns and dragons. Seriously. And then this, I've never heard this before. This is entirely different, but it's just apparently there's a landfill, and you people in the Santa Clarita Valley probably know about this. The Chiquita Canyon landfill. 3 years ago, something went horribly wrong. The garbage deep inside the landfill started burning. Somehow, the pollution control system pumped oxygen deep into the landfill. Now, this landfill has garbage that goes back decades. Well, all the oxygen caused the trash to decompose rapidly, creating intense heat and smoldering. And the temperatures became extremely high and started releasing toxic gases and hazardous liquid waste. And if you live in Castaic and Valverde, oh boy, you're breathing in. This is even worse than, that's rotted food in Boyle Heights, but this is some kind of toxic gases, and thousands of complaints have come in about the stench. People are nauseous, dizzy, they can't breathe. This has been going on for a few years. It's tripled in size in 3 years. And now, a towering mound of garbage on the hillside has warped, and they're afraid it's going to avalanche. That an avalanche of garbage and chemical-filled liquid is going to slide into the community, according to one assemblywoman. The hillside may liquefy and slide into Castaic or Valverde. And everyone was saying, well, this is unprecedented. This has never happened before. But now they have found that there's 2 other landfills in Southern California, and the same thing is happening. The El Sobrante landfill near Corona in Riverside County, and the Avenel landfill in the San Joaquin Valley. And apparently it's an extreme problem. The people next to the landfills have to wear gas masks. Sometimes they have to sleep overnight in grocery store parking lots. Some families sold their homes. And the stench near Chiquita Canyon has gotten worse in recent days. They're trying to stabilize the hillside. This part's going on right now. They think the hillside is going to collapse and then slide into town with all the gases and liquids. People are prisoners in their own homes, and you can smell it at all times. They're in Valverde. Here's a woman, Abigail de Sasa. She lives in Valverde, mile from the landfill, says she wakes up with pounding headaches from the gases. And she has to go to this relief center at a hotel at the end of the day. Well, and then come back to spend the overnights. Oh, my God. Yeah, try selling your house. Well, it looks like that's probably not going to get any better. That's going to be a huge disaster. And the clock's ticking on when it actually explodes or collapses or consumes Castaic and Valverde. All right, Conway's coming up in a few minutes, but first, round 2 of the Moist Line, 877-MOIST-86. Let's go.
Hey, it's John. Thanks for calling the Moist Line. I'm so excited to hear from you. It's about time.
For anybody in LA who thinks that things are so bad and it can't get worse, you are completely mistaken. You have a mayor's race coming up against Ramen and Bass. That is 2 sandwiches, and by the time one of them is done after their next term, there could just be a crater left where LA used to be.
You know, I find it ironic that all these nonprofits are drowning in money, yet they're morally and ethically bankrupt.
The sadder part about these democratic socialists is that they don't seem to comprehend the fact that democracy and socialism kind of oppose one another. Apparently they were asleep in civics class.
Of all the problems going on right now, especially in LA, it's not illegal immigrants, that's for sure. And they're not the ones that are the problems for the price hikes. It's because this city, this state is a joke. They're all a bunch of frauds. It's all a bunch of wealthy people getting more and more wealthy while the rest of us are working 2 and 3 jobs. It's definitely not the immigrants, okay? It's this country.
LA, the next North Korea. Everybody looks the same, dresses the same, lives in the same type of apartment. Nobody owns a car. Nobody owns anything. With Nithya Raman, that's going to be great. I'm glad I don't live anywhere near LA.
These countries that hate the U.S. have been brainwashing the stupid into believing that communism is the answer. And unfortunately, it looks like it's working. They're going to wait until we're weak and fragile, and they're going to swoop in and take over. Or they'll just sit back and watch us collapse.
Regarding the Metro paying people $600 not to take their car, can a homeless person sign up for that? Or do they have to prove that they actually have a car?
They're never going to buy the trains, and no one will ever ride them because nobody wants to ride a train from Merced to Modesto.
I don't know what to do in November. I will never vote for a DSA, so I can't vote for Nithya Raman. And if I vote for Karen Bass, they'll have to clean the vomit off the voting machine.
I decided to look up if other countries need ID in order to vote on national elections. So I looked at Germany, Italy, UK, France, Spain, Belgium, the Netherlands. They all require an ID, and most require an ID along with a voter registration pass that's received in the mail in order to vote.
I spent 50 years waiting for the dumb voters in California to change, and they did change. They kept getting worse, more and more stupid liberal.
These total idiots, when they're voting, if they don't know what they're voting for, they should leave alone. Do not vote for something you do not know, you stupid moron.
Come on, John, you're smarter than that. Nithya Raman knows exactly what they're talking about with the dogs on Skid Row. It's much easier to claim ignorance and say, I can fix it, than to claim the knowledge about it and proclaim you've done nothing. She's a pretty good actress.
So does Nithya Raman just show up and stare at a wall the whole day? Isn't she supposed to be the better candidate because she has experience over Spencer Pratt, who actually knew what was going on and had a plan to fix it?
Thank you for leaving your message. Please hang up. Goodbye.
We don't have Spencer Pratt. We don't have Rick Caruso. Nithya Raman and Karen Bass. And more dogs will die and more people will die today in the streets of Los Angeles. And all weekend. And every day thereafter. And all the nonprofits are raking in billions of dollars. And they do it openly, right in front of our faces. And everybody lets them. All right, we're done here. We'll be back on Monday at 3 o'clock. And Conway's up in minutes. And Michael Crozier is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI.